Rwandans, sorry. So when it was Hutu and Tutsi, they couldn't build a civilization. But now that they are united as Rwandans, go to Kigali, and you describe Kigali as a miracle in Africa. Areas I have painted, which is true in every material sense, are pointers to us as to what will happen to our country if we fail to unite our people and develop this country. And the most dangerous thing to toy with is not even ethnicity, it's religion. So we have an obligation to rise against those dangerous voices of hate and stereotype. And not just to rise against them, but to quieten them so that all of us collectively can make history and build this country.
My biggest concern is about fairness, justice, respect, inclusiveness, national unity, and peace. These are very important elements. Yes. I would disagree with anyone, irrespective of political party. If you tell me that over 80 million Nigerians and their faith do not matter and do not deserve justice and do not even deserve to occupy the second position in this country. If PDP did that, on that very day I will leave PDP and move to another political party. We cannot afford to allow politicians, for their own selfish reasons, for their own aggrandizement, for their disrespect to the people of this country, to divide us so that they can achieve their objectives. The fact that there are millions and millions of Christians in Nigeria and millions of Muslims in Nigeria was not our creation. None of us here decided to be a Christian or to be a Muslim. It was a decision made by God Almighty. And when God Almighty decides on something, we must understand that He has a purpose for it. Nigeria was named and was not created by a Muslim, it was created by a Christian. But we have all accepted that as an act of God, because that is what God had wanted. He will make Nigeria to be like Saudi Arabia, or will make Nigeria to be like Rome. But no, He made us Christians and Muslims, perhaps so that we can understand and love each other better. How can I look at those people, my friends, my classmates, the people with whom we played together, we ate together, we shared happiness, we shared sadness together when we were in school, and look at them in the face and say, you, because of your religion, do not deserve to be the vice president or president of this country. Never. This is not the Nigeria that we want to have. So therefore, for me, it is not about politics, it's about all of us. It is about the future of our children, the future of our grandchildren, the future of our great-grandchildren, and the future of our people, that we must understand that as Nigerians, we are one. Our faith is our personal problem. So therefore, I agree to be part of this because I believe that the Christians in Nigeria, if they don't get the presidency, they deserve to get the vice presidential ticket.
The group adopted the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, following the resolve of the northern Christian leaders to work with their Muslim counterparts to adopt the former vice president in order to defeat the APC.
The APC presidential ticket does not promote inclusiveness, unity, religious harmony, and cohesion. A large population of Muslims, as you can see amongst us, have also expressed reservations to this ticket and have called for fairness and inclusivity. Consequently, the ticket by this group is outrightly rejected. And the forum hereby calls on all lovers of democracy, peaceful coexistence, unity, and religious harmony to reject the ticket in its entirety. Number 3, the People's Democratic Party. A, that the People's Democratic ticket is representative of our religious diversity as a people. B, the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, is the only candidate among the candidates of the 4 leading political parties that has the knowledge and experience of managing the country at the presidential level. This gives him the advantage to set the ball rolling from day one. C, that the PDP presidential candidate has a track record of working harmoniously with all classes of people across religious and ethnic divides. D, that the PDP presidential candidate is a well-known talent hunter who has demonstrated capacity to hunt highly experienced talents across different sectors and bring them into government. This country needs highly talented people at this critical time to pull the country out of the doldrums and bring it back to the path of stability, security, and prosperity. Our resolutions, therefore, from the vote that was put in, the forum, therefore, adopts the PDP and the Atiku Okowa presidential ticket as the right ticket to support in the 2023 presidential election, as it addresses all the concerns of inclusiveness, fairness, and national cohesion.
We will no longer allow politicians to divide us in order to achieve what they want to achieve for their own interests. I have come to conclude that religion is only a weapon that politicians use to divide us. And the truth of the matter is that I contested against a Muslim Fulani in Yobe. Some of them are here. And I defeated him. The Christian delegates were not more than 3 out of 200 and something. So a Muslim can vote a Christian. This APC story, I don't even want to go there. But I'm happy that this document has come out, and I want to charge us to run along with it, preach it to everyone, preach it to APC, open their eyes, preach to them, explain it to them, bring light into to mobilize the northern parts of Nigeria to make sure that this document has come to reality come 2023.
As part of its sensitization tour ahead of the 2023 general election, members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, loyal to Atiku Abubakar in Rivers State, visited Okrika, local government area, to enlighten party supporters on the need to remain steadfast and deliver the presidential candidate of the party, Atiku Abubakar, and all candidates of the party, as has been the practice since the return to democracy in 1999.
And because we are in one party, if at the end of the day, because we are law abiding, from national they said everywhere carry go, are we not going to follow party directly? Is party not supreme? I don't know why the party they supreme some side, no supreme some side.
Let's all come out in our numbers to support this man that will change the course of our nation. This man that will turn around our misfortunes as a nation.
It shows that Okrika is Atiku. Okrika is.
We already articulated. Let us go back home to our families to accuse our people to tell them that Okrika, we've gotten the answer. That Atiku Okowa is the answer.
A very official meeting and gathering, peaceful gathering of stakeholders of the PDP in Okrika, working for the success of our dear presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar.
Members of the Atiku Okowa support group came out in their numbers to receive the State Director General Abiye Sekibo and other officials of the group. In their remarks, they charged the supporters to remain resolute and deliver on the mandate.
This local government is 100% articulated. Here we have stated why we want Atiku Abubakar. Others are free to come and talk to our people on who they believe in. But if you say I cannot speak about Atiku Abubakar, then you're looking for my trouble.
Elsewhere in Kaduna State, the Atiku Abubakar presidential campaign team is on a roller coaster as more groups and individuals continue to endorse the candidacy of the Wazirin Adamawa Atiku Abubakar. This time, it is the former governorship candidate of the defunct Congress for Progressive Change, CPC, in Kaduna State, Said Haruna. Haruna, who is now a PDP stalwart and Director General Atiku Campaign Committee in Kaduna State, affirmed his support for the former Nigerian Vice President. Said spoke when he paid a courtesy visit to the Kaduna State chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) and the Southern Kaduna People's Union.
Position is well known in the state. He has visited Kaduna State and people were very happy to receive him. That's one strategy that has helped us, and since his departure from the state, nothing has been stopped. We are moving on to sell the manifesto as relates to the security, the unity, the education, the true federalism that he has advocated and is still advocating for the governance to succeed. The economy also, which is an issue that he can do very well. So these are issues that we are selling to the people, and the people are accepting that because we have all come a long way. Everybody has seen the real situation that we are faced with today, and with the change, the true change will come, inshallah.
We have a lot of hope in Northwest. Definitely, Atiku, by the end of the day, he will carry the whole nation. Our people are willing, and they are hoping to give Atiku the whole block votes because they envisage no any other person that they will get a return after elected into power. But I'm sure with Atiku and with all the promises he has been making, I have the belief that he did mention sometimes that whoever do well to him, he will try to pay back in different form. And I'm assuring you, sky will be our limit, and Atiku doesn't fail. He does, and he will be doing all things that are needful. By virtue of the way I see him, he will never fail us in any way. And he is a person that has one time been in the position as vice president. He knows all the pros and cons of the whole situation in the presidency. Nobody will ever tell him what the president is all about, and he has known the good, the bad, and the ugly in the presidency.
We are here soliciting for their support and that of their people. And we had a fruitful discussion with them. And I'm comfortable with the meeting. Well, we will definitely adjust in terms of our people manning the polling units, agents that were there to represent us. We have had marathon meetings in selecting those that will man the polling units. And we have gotten the best. And all our leaders will have to go back to their constituency, particularly the polling units. Now that elections will be at the polling unit and the result will be declared at the polling unit. So nobody will be in Kaduna singing of election. We all have to go back to our respective constituencies.
With the emergence of Labour Party, are you seriously bothered about the emergence of PDP and their effects?
Well, emergence of Labour Party, yes, it can come in form of distraction to our people. And we are up and doing, trying to make sure that the right thing is done. But for sure, Labour Party has no base in southern Kaduna. And I want to assure you that they are ready to face the PDP team.
A former governor of Kaduna State, Senator Ahmed Makarfi, and the PDP governorship candidate in the 2003 elections, Ashiru Kudan, both noted that Atiku Abubakar would transform the economy and address the rising insecurity in the country.
There is an improvement in the electoral system. Two, people are more enlightened. They want positive change. They want security issues addressed. They want the unity, the harmony in the country to return. The youth want jobs. They want opportunities. And is what has been lacking in the last virtually 8 years of this administration. So only something new, and not just new, but what has been tested. We have a record, that is the PDP, that can speak for itself, and we have capable people that we have fielded. So I'm very, very confident. And of course, besides, we are not going to be sleepy. We'll go
one on the list. And for me, I've been feeling so guilty that it's very unfair for us. We enjoy the best of life growing up. We enjoy the best of education growing up. We were employed. We were employable. And today, we cannot hand over that kind of situation to the incoming generation. So for me, I feel very bad. That's why we cannot rest. We cannot say we are retired. We must always be there to make sure that we are, and we pray that this thing happens in our lifetime. So for those of us who enjoy retirement, fly to Dubai, fly everywhere, and think we're enjoying retirement, I think we're fooling ourselves. And we will continue to stay back to make sure that things go back to the kind of life that we all enjoyed. It is not fair to the next generation. It's not fair to those who are still not in retirement. I am gently articulating with my
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Sitting is a natural thing to do as humans on a daily basis, whether in the office, at our various businesses, or while commuting from one point to another.
I sit 2 or 3 hours in my office depending on the job I have on my table.
I do resume work by 9 o'clock, so 9 till 3. Be sitting either you do one patient job to another because we make dentures.
3 hours of
sitting is a must. While sitting itself is not bad,
it's such that movement is supposed to circulate around all parts of the body. The blood system
And so when you are seated for too long, that motion, that circulation of blood is slow. And as it slows, it affects other functions of the body. Your brain, because the blood supply to your head is reduced. You even hear about people stroking in the office. They were seated and they just wanted to stand up and they stroke because blood hasn't circulated sufficiently to the brain. You know, it brings about cramps, arthritis, diabetes, even hypertension. And recently, to our surprise, it brings about mental problems. Because somebody that is sedentary, or you're on the computer, and you don't socialize, you become antisocial, so you're psychologically affected. So, I mean, the hazards of prolonged sitting cannot be overemphasized. Besides exercising at home before getting to work, while at work, I try, like I said, to be up every 45 minutes. If you look to the left side of my office there, you can see that my intercom, which is supposed to be in most organizations, people have it on their table, on their desk. You know, I don't have mine on my desk, not because I wouldn't want to, but it forces me each time it rings to stand up. You know, if you look around my mobile devices, my telephones, my iPad, you won't find them on my table, except I'm taking a call or maybe attending to a message. You know, each time it calls for attention, I have to stand up.
Prolonged sitting, especially in a wrong position, can also lead to brain damage, strained neck, back problems, muscle degeneration, hip problems, leg disorder, amongst others.
Well, currently, I try not to exceed 45 minutes. Yeah, because I discovered in the past that prolonged sitting was not very good for my health. You know, besides what we read and what our doctors tell us, I discovered that one, my belly was becoming distended, you know, kind of bloated, and I wasn't feeling generally well. You know, at the end of the day, I'll feel fatigued, I'll have leg cramps, and my brain wasn't I wasn't alert. You know, but when I now went into a little research with medical advice and adjusted my schedule in such a way that I'm not sedentary for more than 45 minutes. When I mean sedentary, I mean seated. So I ensure that I am up maximum of every 45 minutes.
I don't think that this conventional idea of going up and down, doing what you ought to do, stresses one so much. I think sitting down so much can stress one.
Days away. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International. Your win.
Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. My name is Sobiagele Ugoke and John Bamidele is our sign language interpreter for today. Let's take the headlines. Parties to United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity in Canada to develop framework for the protection of nature. Vietnam prioritizes strengthening diplomatic ties with Nigeria. Plus, federal government recovers over 120 billion naira in its anti-graft drive. Thank you very much for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has been conferred with the highest national honor of Guinea-Bissau in appreciation of his significant leadership role and enormous contributions to peace, security, stability, and democratic governance in that country and the West African sub-region. This was during a one-day state visit to the West African nation, where two major roads were also named after him in the capital, Bissau. We'll bring you the details of that report in our subsequent bulletin. In the UN Convention, humanity has become a weapon of mass destruction, once United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, as parties to the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, meets in Canada for the 15th conference to agree on a post-2020 biodiversity framework for the protection of nature. Onenge Fineface reports.
Climate change events are pushing planet Earth to a tipping point of catastrophe, science shows, as weather extremes continue to devastate countries around the world. It is agreed that climate change is man-made, but the consequences go far beyond, affecting the world's biological diversity and forcing many wild species into extinction. United Nations Convention on Biodiversity, CBD's COP15 in Montreal, Canada, is a global effort at forging a new deal for nature to save the planet's forests, oceans, and species.
The scientists have underlined to us this is our last chance to act. Otherwise, all of us will perish. And unfortunately, we have no planet B to go to.
Draft targets for the 10-year framework include a cornerstone pledge to protect 30% of the world's land and seas by 2030.
But a few days to act decisively and with principle. And action must be bold, not bracketed, so that we can get this deal done.
The official opening of COP15 follows several days of pre-negotiations that saw very little progress on key issues.
Ecosystems have become playthings of profit. With our bottomless appetite for unchecked and unequal economic growth, humanity has become a weapon of mass extinction. We are treating nature like a toilet, and ultimately, we are committing suicide by proxy.
Finance is among the most divisive issues, as developing nations demand increased funding for conservation, which wealthy nations are resisting. Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
On our global update, Kenya is to launch measles vaccination campaign, and U.S. celebrates return of manufacturing giant project. Uche Ugochukwu has these and more.
President Joe Biden has declared the comeback of U.S. manufacturing at the site of a mammoth expansion to a Taiwanese-owned semiconductor plant aimed at breaking U.S. dependency on foreign-based producers for the vital components.
Over 30 years ago, America had more than 30% of the global chip production. Then something happened. American manufacturing, the backbone of our economy, began to get hollowed out. Companies moved jobs overseas. Today we're down to producing only around 10% of the world's chips.
At a press conference at the European Union Western Balkans Summit, the EU Council President Charles Michel said the future will be secure and prosperous with the Western Balkans inside the European Union.
We already have our projects, and the region will be all involved in this path to build more sources of energy.
For us, it's important that together with our friends from the Western Balkan, we address this energy crisis together in a way that we mirror whatever we do in the European Union, also in the Western Balkans.
Sudanese military leader Abdel Fattah al-Burhan said the army will relinquish power as soon as civilian political groups in the country reach an agreement on the formation of a new transitional government. He said the parties that signed the 5th December Framework Agreement, which paves way for the formation of a new civilian-led transitional government, are expected to set up committees to work on a new constitution for the country. Kenya's health ministry says it will Friday launch a 2-week vaccination campaign against measles, targeting 1.2 million children aged 9 months to 5 years. It follows an outbreak in 7 counties where 90% of children below 5 years have missed out on the 2-dose vaccine.
As Vice President Yemi Osinbajo ends a 3-day diplomatic shuttle to Vietnam, President Nguyen Xuan says Vietnam prioritizes strengthening ties with Nigeria. State House correspondent Gideon Ifade reports.
Plunging high, hand in hand, and with a big smile, signaling mutual respect by the two countries for each other. As Vice President Yemi Osinbajo arrives at the Vietnamese seat of government and was received by the Vietnamese leader, both leaders looked back to where the journey of the two countries began, where it is now, and what the future holds. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo hails the development in the bilateral ties and says this has been deepened in a substantive and effective manner.
Just as we have said at all the meetings we have held, it is time for a new level in our relationship. It is time for stronger bonds. It is time for more cooperation. It is time for more collaboration. And I think we are ready to do that. We in Nigeria are ready to work even more closely with Vietnam in business, commerce, in agriculture, technology, and various other ways.
While commending the Vietnamese government for being a jolly good fellow, he says Nigeria will continue to be a worthy partner. The two agreed to exchanging of visits by leadership of both countries to raise mutual understanding and trust and enhance cooperation opportunities, especially in the economy.
There's a lot of benefits and mutual benefits that we are going to be seeing between Nigeria and Vietnam going forward.
Those in the Vice President's delegation include the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Ade Ikpanye, and Ambassador Adamu Mamani Hazard of the Nigerian High Commission in Vietnam. Well, the two countries treasure their diplomatic ties, which started way back in 1976. And the
Honorable Minister of Environment to the podium. Please permit me to digress a bit and to say categorically,
the Information and Culture Minister announced that the over 120 billion naira is proceeds from criminal financial operations since the bill on proceeds of crime recovery management was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari in May this year.
That the administration's fight against corruption is very much on track. As you may already know, Mr. President signed into law the Proceeds of Crime Recovery and Management Bill 2022 on the 12th of May 2022. That bill was one of the three which Mr. President signed into law that day. The other two are the Money Laundering, Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2022 and Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2022.
The Information Minister was emphatic that the funds will be used to fund critical projects around the country.
In line with the new law, all relevant agencies of government have now opened a confiscated and for future properties account with the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. I can confirm that so far, the federal government has realized over 120 billion naira among other currencies, from poker. The money is being used to fund the completion of ongoing critical infrastructure projects in the country, like the second Niger Bridge, as well as Lagos-Ibadan and Abuja-Kano expressways. We will continue to update you on this.
Fielding questions from journalists, the Minister of Environment, Mohammed Abdullahi, who had his turn at the ongoing PMB scorecard 2015-2023, placed the blame on ecological problems and funding on the doorsteps of other tiers of government.
Initially, the federal government handles ecological funds, but the state argued that they must be given their own share of ecological funds. The federal government accepted, and at every FAC allocation, they give their own share of allocation to states. So to come out and accuse the federal government of inaction is very unfair. Haven't gotten a fair share of your ecological funds over the years. So I find that very, very amusing, because each state is paid its share of ecological fund.
Next in line will be the turn of the Minister of Mines and Steel Development. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
To environment matters now, Nigeria is meeting up with its targets for environmental governance by placing policies, programs and projects to make the environment healthy and safe for lives and livelihoods. At the 8th edition of the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration scorecard presentation, Minister of Environment Mohammed Abdullahi highlighted key achievements in the sector, including forestry, climate change, the Great Green Wall Project, organic cleanup and waste management. On Fine-Face reports.
To put the nation on track in mitigating the challenges of desertification, land degradation and drought, a national action plan was developed by the present administration with support from the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. Nigeria also completed its land degradation neutrality targets through afforestation and reforestation projects to restore hectares of degraded land across the country.
We've established about 12 hectares of woodlots in rural communities, 5 numbers, in desertification frontline states. We've also been able to establish about 4.8 hectares of orchards. We've also developed a strategy to combat trade and crime and wildlife and forest crime. This government, under the Buhari administration, established what we call the National Forestry Trust Fund. It is meant to support the government initiative in terms of afforestation.
In combating climate change, Mohammed Abdullahi highlights key achievements to include the enactment of a Climate Change Act and establishment of the National Council on Climate Change, the first of its kind on the African continent, alongside a National Energy Transition Plan, issuance of a sovereign green bond and submission of a revised nationally determined contribution to the UN Convention on Climate Change.
The Energy Transition Plan is about one of the first in Africa. It is envisaged and planned to, one, ensure energy access by a majority of Nigerians, and also ensure that it reduces our GHG emissions. It also ensures that we roll out what we call the green energy infrastructure to support our energy demands.
The Minister of Environment notes progress made in the organic cleanup exercise and implementation of the Great Green Wall Initiative.
HYPREV has been able to deliver on 21 sites of remediation, covering about 230 hectares out of the 65 sites reported in the UNEP report. Grids consisting of 200 by 200 square meters per grid of shorelines, which will pave way for the actual cleanup and remediation of 65 hectares of contaminated shorelines.
3 policies, namely the National Policy on Solid Waste Management, National Policy on Plastic Waste Management, and that of Waste Battery Management, were developed in the period under review to promote pollution control, environmental health, and sanitation. In Abuja, Fine-Face, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a short break now. More reports after this time out. Stay with us.
In a third final in 20 years.
This is out of this world, Yogata. Now you can get a GoTV decoder, Go channel, and 1 month of GoTV Jolly for only 4,900 naira, and enjoy all the show-stopping games live from Qatar on GoTV.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
Thanks for staying with us. The quest for beautiful skin knows no boundaries and extends across race, sex, and all age groups. Ironically, the desire for fair or light skin has become a global phenomenon, especially among the dark-skinned populations. In this report, Herman Jabane takes a look at the dark side of skin lightening, now negatively impacting human health.
There is an increase in the desire by dark-skinned people to acquire a lighter skin across the globe. This has given rise to different skin care and cosmetology merchants across the globe. These mixture cosmetics are usually applied to the human body or any specific part in the name of cleansing and beautification, mostly to promote attractiveness, bleaching, or skin lightening cosmetics like scrubs, pills, soaps, injections, chemicals, and even laser therapy are some of such to remove dark areas from the body without putting into consideration the possible side effects.
Naturally, me, I use natural products. There are times I go to the market, buy some, I use black soap, buy some of the ingredients, and I mix them myself. But today I get to realize that you have to be very, very mindful of the chemical components.
The situation, the bleaching cream people are using today, I can use the word irritating.
This situation regrettably has far-reaching diverse effects on health and individual finances, and this in return has enriched unscrupulous stakeholders in the value chain.
One of the dangers of this skin bleaching and the rest of that is that if you remove the melanin, because if anything happened, the skin needed to be stitched, maybe there's surgery, they needed to stitch that very particular person, it would be nearly an impossibility.
So for each cosmetics like soap, they will tell you how to use it. So it's always indicated on the label, the direction for use. So stick to that direction for use, and you shouldn't have any problem with any cosmetic product.
In the sub-Saharan Africa, skin lightening, observers say, have been prominent for about 5 decades, with a prevalence of 40 to 70% among the population across gender.
You should ensure that products that you are using have been reviewed and approved and registered by NAFDAC, and to make sure that you source your products from legitimate and credible sources, and that you do not use products for which you do not know what they contain.
In February 2021, Nigeria's Senate, during one of its plenary, resolved to ensure regulation that will control the formulation and distribution of cosmetics, especially bleaching creams, and directed NAFDAC to regulate the production and sales of such creams in Nigeria, as well as maintain product database, and to also sensitize and create more awareness on the ills of harmful substance.
Equip the people with the right information and try to wipe off what we call public ignorance, because there's pervasive ignorance around this issue and everybody is involved, because all of us use cosmetics, and there are outright people go outrightly day in day out to harm themselves. They know outrightly. In fact, they go out looking for the bleaching creams. But there are people who are very innocent. They do not know.
Medical experts are of the view that the obsession for fair skin needs to be dealt with while creating a society where dark-skinned men and women are respected in all ramifications. Hamman Germany, NTA News.
And from the Northeast is a report that since 2018, the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center has been extending support to the victims of insurgency in Northeast Nigeria in order to alleviate their sufferings. 90,000 victims have been profiled by the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA to benefit from the 2022 King Salman donations. Ilyas Yakubu reports.
16,000 households of internally displaced persons in 8 camps and host communities in Borno State are benefiting from the latest King Salman donations. The food basket of each of the household comprises a bag of rice, beans, masa vita flour, vegetable oil as well as condiment. The IDPs commended the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center for the show of support to their plight. The representative of King Salman Relief Center, Ali Yusuf Abdul Karim, said the center is passionate about providing relief assistance to the needy in the society. He said the center will continue to extend relief support to the victims of insurgency and banditry in the country.
This aid comes as an extension of the relief and humanitarian effort provided by the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Governor Babagana Umar Zulum of Borno State described the donation as a maximum show of love for the people in need.
Let me warn those that are in charge of the distribution exercise to ensure that this item reach the downtrodden.
Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, is confident that each of the households profiled by the agency will surely benefit.
The government and the people of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have proven to be real friends and brothers of Nigeria through their great benevolence to the country.
Aside the donation of food items to the IDPs in the Northeast, the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center had previously donated some digital equipment to NEMA for improved productivity. From Maiduguri in Borno State, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
A fourth National Assembly Senate has reserved to slash the 2023 budgets of ministries, departments, and agencies of government that failed to appear before its Committee on Public Accounts. Ministries, departments, and agencies of government are expected to appear before the Parliamentary Committee to defend queries raised by the Auditor General of the Federation and other issues, including service-wide votes. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo has more.
Committee has been mandated to look into it by inviting NDAs and persons that are charged with the responsibility of approving public funds for expenditure. The problem we had this problem. I have come to you, Mr. President, and today I have come to the floor of the Senate to say, in exercising our duties, we have been inviting agencies of government and accounting officers in these agencies or the MDAs to come and let us know. Number one, there is ordinarily supposed to be a correspondence from that agency to give a reason why the chief executive officer is not able to appear. Then you give another date. Where there is no correspondence at all, you write a reminder.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has redeemed promise made to Super Eagles 28 years ago. Abdullahi Mohammed reports that the winning team coach, Clements Westerhoff, was the latest recipient of a 3-bedroom apartment in Gwagwalada, Abuja.
Among the rewards for the 1994 Super Eagles winning team was a house for each, and 28 years after, each have been allocated a house in their preferred location. Coach Clemens Westerhoff was given his keys and certificate of occupancy in a 3-bedroom apartment in Gwagwalada.
A promise made by one government, another government is fulfilling it. So, to show the commitment of Mr. President, that was why they were given free chance where you want your houses to be located. We capture it in our program.
You could have seen the joy on so many of their faces when we handed them over keys nationwide. It was like they couldn't believe it would happen. A lot of them had lost hope. It was not going to happen, but it's happening, and you're seeing it live. So we commend this government for, taking this initiative to fulfill this promise, 28 years old promise.
Many of the members of the team have taken possession of their houses in the past couple of months. In Abuja, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
A very big congratulations to the coach. And this is where we end the news. Before we go, a reminder to join NTA in the campaign against rape and rapists. John Bamidele is our sign language interpreter, and my name is Sobiageli Ugoke. Thanks for watching.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, Go TV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. And to watch NTA International in the USA, Canada, and Mexico, use the following satellite parameters. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of NYSC Half Hour. I am Nkem Agonwa. Today's episode promises to be truly informative as we take you through some of the activities of core members across Gombe and Taraba states. You can always catch us on NYSC TV on TSTV channel 365 and NYSC Radio 88.3 FM. We will be right back. Join us again.
Orientation course is ongoing, and the prospective corps members are expected to report to camp as scheduled on their call-up letters. They are to ensure that the name and date of graduation on their call-up letter corresponds with what is uploaded by the institutions on the NYSC portal. This is necessary to ensure that during documentation in the camp, the data corresponds, and once it corresponds, the system will be able to generate the state code number for them. The orientation course is very, very important in the operations of the scheme. It's one of the cardinal programs of the NYSC. Without the orientation course, I don't think that we'll be able to cope with these teeming youths, the corps members. It's at the orientation camp that they are prepared to face the challenges of the service here. And also at the orientation camp, they imbibe the required discipline and also the unity of purpose, because they're expected to interact, relate with people from different cultures and ethnicity. Also, it will enable them to acquire leadership skills, very, very necessary. So all these put together, by the time they go through the orientation course, they come out better educated and ready to go through the 1-year national service. I want to wish all the corps members and camp officials participating in the current 2022 Batch C orientation program a successful orientation course. Thank you and God bless you.
Welcome back. We kick off today's episode with an interview with His Royal Highness, the Bala Wajah Alhaji Muhammad Danjuma Muhammad, the Talasay of Balanga local government area of Gombe State. He is a graduate of Bauchi College of Arts and Science and then proceeded to the University of Maiduguri, where he studied business management. In 1988, he was deployed to Lagos State for his service here, where he started his career in banking. In 2001, after the passing of his father, he assumed the throne as the paramount ruler of Wajah Kingdom. As the paramount ruler of Wajah Kingdom, he ensures that corps members in his community are adequately catered for and continuously provides guidance and mentorship to them. Let us meet him.
My name is Mohammed and Yuma Mohammed. I went to Bauchi College of Art and Science. I spent 2 years there. I then proceeded to University of Maiduguri, where I spent 3 years there. I read business management. From there, I was posted to Lagos. That was in 1988 for my NYSC. I did my NYSC in Lagos in a bank called Gamji Bank.
Wajah community is accommodating to corps members as community members ensure the easy integration of corps members.
My people here, I will call their attention. They should see this NYSC as their kids, because our two, they are there in their areas. So their own are here. So we have to love them, because our two, they will be loved there. So when these people come, we normally embrace them. They normally come to my palace, address them, advise them, and leave my doors open to them. I say, even if it is in the night, my doors are always free. They can call, we'll discuss and sort any problem that will arise. So we have been doing this for the past 20 years with the NYC. And thank God, most of the NYC that are posted here, they are skillful, because most of them, they have one thing or the other to live here. I remember there was one couple that built a toilet here. Your sister, that, MC, I think she was the one that came here, if I am not forgotten. She was the one that opened the toilet that we constructed here. So most of the couples here, they are very active and willing to work. They integrate with my people. There's no any difference. We don't have difference of religion or tribe or anything. Why the people are peace loving? Because in a house, you will see a Muslim, a Christian, and even a traditional believer. So then there's no room for saying that my religion is different from your own, so I will not like what you. No. We don't have this in Wajashibdom. All of us are one family. So we treat ourselves with all dignity. So the couples here, I believe they are enjoying, and I leave my door open to them so that if there's any problem, my secretaries are there, and myself, I'm around for them. Not long, I had a meeting with the CLO, and the CLO is a lady, and her deputy, the deputy too is a lady. I think there were 2 or 4 members. I called the local government secretary so that we will have the meeting together, and we discussed a lot with the couples, especially concerning their welfare, where there are gray areas, we are able to address it. And from then, I have not heard any problem from the core members, and we are going to maintain that.
Core members, through the Skill Acquisition and Entrepreneurship Development Program, continue to provide skill trainings to members of Waja community.
We really love that idea of giving skills to core members so they will come and teach our people, because that skill will assist our people. If they leave, they left something for our people. So, and we are gaining a lot from them. When the skill was introduced in our area, they came to my place. We discussed a lot with them, and we said, okay, go ahead and do any trade that you think you will teach our people. It's a welcome development. If there is any problem in that line, do liaise with me so they will see way forward. And since then, we have not been hearing any problem. And it's really assisting our people, especially our youth, because they are the people that we will say they need these skills. Instead of sitting idle, they will have something doing. Just as I said, an idle man is a devil workshop. If they are idle, then anything that comes, whether good or bad, they will adopt it. At the end of the day, it will ruin their life. So that's why that skill will really assist us, so that our youth will have something doing. At the end of the service of core member, at least they will leave a legacy for us, where we will be remembering them. So far has done this for us, so far has done it for us. So it's a good development, and we continue to assist them to see that that skill continue. NYC people, when they come here, they do enjoy staying here. Some core members even married here. I remember there are about 6 or 7 that got married here. The males too got their wives here, and the females got their husbands here. So this integration will continue, and we normally encourage that.
His Royal Highness had a few words of advice to core members.
For my core members, I'm encouraging them, let them work as a family. NYC work is a good job. Without NYC, I wouldn't have been non-Lagos. Without NYC, those people from South that are coming here, they wouldn't have come here. They wouldn't have known Balanga local government. Talk less of Wajashibdom. Even Gombe State, they will just see Gombe State on a map. But if they say, have you been to Gombe State? They say, no, I've not been to Gombe State. So NYC has made people to come to Gombe State. NYC has made couples to come to Balanga local government, one of the peaceful local government in Gombe State. So my advice is, board members, organize yourself. Get something doing, especially those kids that have been introduced to you. Make sure that you teach our people. At the end of the day, our people too will realize what you have done for them. From Nigeria, the advice I would like to give them is, especially the political era is around, they have to calm themselves so that they will not be used as tools or vanguards at the end of the day, they will have nothing to show off.
Thank you so much, Your Royal Highness. Indeed, the political season is upon us. Do not be used as a tool of violence or any form of electoral misconduct. We all have a responsibility to be law-abiding, and that includes core members and all citizens. We move on to our next story on Esther Odunayo Ayonremi. Esther is an indigene of Oyo State and a graduate of religion from the University of Ilorin. In 2015, she was deployed to Taraba State for her service year. While in camp, she continued to hone her skill in leatherwork, a skill she had begun developing prior to her service year. However, the NYSC SAID program gave her an opportunity to further develop the skill. She is today an entrepreneur and a SAID trainer and has decided to stay back in Taraba State, where she runs a thriving business in shoe and bag making. Come with us. Let us meet Esther.
You obey the power on top.
Hello viewers, I'm Esther Odunayo Olaoluwaremi from Oyo State, an ex-corps member. NYSC deployed me to Taraba State in the year 2015, and I decided to stay back to establish myself, where I have the Dem Ayo shoe and bag factory. I know you would like to hear more about me. Come along.
You obey the power on top.
It was NYSC that made me know about Taraba State. I don't even know where Taraba State is in the map of Nigeria. Because when I saw my mobilization letter, I was like, Taraba State? I was now checking, where is Taraba State? Let me tell you something. I was crying. I was really crying coming down to this place. The journey and all that. It was not funny. I was crying. I could not participate in anything in the camp. All throughout the week we came. Week after, I just started, I got the interest. One of my bunkie Geraldine, she just told me, let's do this. Let's go to Mami. But everything was just falling in place, and I, because of the sporting activity before I can play football, I decided to join the volleyball team, and it was fun. And before I joined the Said, and everything was lively. And that was why I forgot about the, the journey to Taraba and all that. After the camp experience, the sporting department unit said, I can play volleyball. They would like me to stay back in Taraba State and all that. And I just got my PP, and it was Jalingo all of a sudden. I was like, okay, if God want me to stay back in Taraba State, let me see. And from there, I took up the challenge. And I would say I enjoy my PPA, the place of primary assignment. And even in my NYSC days, I was teaching corpers. I have up to 10 corpers in my room. They were, coming to learn from me because I know how to make this bag and shoe before. The journey of becoming the facilitator began when the Said Ed noticed that I can make bags and shoes, and other my mates, the core members, they were telling him that lady is very, very good. He now had to call me, and the other guy, there was a trainer already there. We partnered together, and he was like, okay, we'll be going to the camp together to train corpers. And from there, we were going in 2016 after the passing out parade, 2017. And in 2017, I think he died. And said, okay, I should take over. And that was how it began. It's a thing of joy for me. It's exciting for me, training and impacting youth from all over Nigeria, over 500, 1,000 core members in my own side unit in the camp. They come, different faces, and it has been, I would say, from 2016, 17, 18, 19 up till now. I would say I've impacted over 10,000 core members, and the journey has been an exciting one, because these are, they were once Otondo. You getting Otondo is like you're, impacting children, and all of a sudden they are growing up with you after the camp. After growing up with you in the post camp, they tend to stay with you, and they grow into adult. Like, they get to know the work very, very well, and they are excited about it too. After the passing out parade, it was like, should I go? I was praying. I was like, God, what's up? Taraba State, I didn't plan to be here before. I just want to stay in Ilori and train student. The money, the last alawi, they pay twice then. They pay 2 times for the last part. I used the money and I said, God, I started the hunting for shop. And let me tell you something. I was looking for a shop in a strategic place. The place that I moved to, I got this shop. It was where if they tell you I will not be able to sell up to 500 naira in a month, you will say yes, because it was so true. But, the post-camp coppers was just the ones that were, making that place lively. They were more than 25 there. I was training them. The joy of training them is not even beyond the, the sales, because you training them and the people get to like, what is happening there? And it started. And from that particular shop, it was, is it 1 year and a half I stayed there. That place was where God was, pointing somebody to. Someone was there to, take me to the next level. And that was where God said, you must take the shop there. I took the shop there, and the person, all of a sudden, the friend of this guy came over. He said, wow, this shoe and bag is so unique. I would like this. And I would like to, introduce you to my organization. And before you know, they said, come and pay 5,000. I said, these government people, they don't come again. Come and pay 5,000 where? They just introduce themselves, their technology incubation center. And they're like, my works are good. They will take it to Abuja and all that. And you know that they took the works to Abuja. And the Minister of Science and Technology, if I could remember, Ogbonna, it was one that, signed that. I saw his signature on that particular letter that they've given me a place in Technology Incubation Center. And if I tell you, if God is in your matter, everything will be working. And from there, just not up to half year, from there I moved down to this particular place, this factory-like place that you're seeing. And let me tell you something, since then till now, because I'm under incubation center, I've not paid 1 dime for this place, because what? It is a program that helped young entrepreneurs. They incubate young entrepreneurs so that if they see your product is innovative, can stand the test of time, they are going to take those products and incubate you to the standard of the market level. That's what they do, and that's why I'm here today.
My journey to Taraba State is as a result of NYST, and I so much appreciate the platform of Said, which has afforded me in learning this skill. Currently, we are into this souvenir bag making. As you can see, this particular bag is called souvenir bag. These are used as a gift for events, weddings, and what have you. It can also be personally customized for shopping and marketing and all those general purposes. I'm not regretting my coming over to this state as regards to NYSC, because this has afforded me the knowledge of which I don't have from time immemorial. So I don't have this knowledge about the skill, but it has afforded me. So I'm not going back hunting for job as long as there is no job for now. So with this, I think I am confident, and I know that with God on my side, I can set up something after my service here.
I had just a little knowledge of it from where I come from, but I was not grounded in it. So I decided to pick up this skill to learn properly and to the glory of God, and I'm so good in it right now. Well, with anything leather, I can make nice bags, whatever kind of bags. Yes, I do. So yes, I really love what I'm doing. From this thing I make, the bags I make, I've been able to make some money truly, and it's exciting because I'm not broke, thank God. And with how I'm seeing how the business is going, I truly would love to indulge in this, like start up my own, my very own, because I can't see myself working for someone. No, I don't think I want to do that, because with this knowledge, I make nice bags, souvenir bags, school bags, even this ladies' handbag, these fashion handbags. I make them like something of this nature. Yes, I do, and some other types like that. Through this side program, I've been learning. So surely, I want to start my own once I'm done with my program here.
A lot of people depends on white collar job, and it's not forthcoming. So we need to learn a skill. Be it a graduate or you're not a graduate, it's actually very important. Actually, I fell in love with this job right from camp. When I came to camp, doing the side classes, I saw bags and shoes. I fell in love with it. So we all started from purse, just a 2 purse. From there, we now proceed to toothbrush with 1 handle, 2 handle, made souvenir bags, box bags. From there, went to dinner bags. We're in an era where white collar jobs are not forthcoming. So, well, I thank NYC for giving me this beautiful opportunity. I really appreciate NYC for this.
My name is Eunice Ezekiel Shinte. I'm from Taraba State. I write my wife this year. I came to learn handwork, and when I see coppers around, I feel very good. I want to be like them.
When we finish the personal parade, many of my friends, we are going, we are doing this, we are going, you'll be hearing the noises, you are going, like, no, it's not about we are going. What are we going to do there? They want to go to Abuja, they want to go to the lively place, Port Harcourt, Lagos, and before they get to be hit by challenges of life there. Meanwhile, God is saying, go to Taraba State, they are posted there, stay in Adamawa, they don't want to stay there. And they depopulate this area and go to a populated area, and they don't achieve what they need to achieve. So, NYSC, after staying back, with all what I've gotten, it was, I would say it was with the help of NYSC, I got these benefits. And even I go back to Lagos, then after the service, I'll tell you that this particular place in Lagos, they are hustling, they are hustling for it, that like they want to get something like this. But this place is just, they are the one going after you to come, and get into the organization. And I would say this NYC have been, it has helped me. I was crying coming down here, but look at me today, I'm laughing. It has helped me a lot.
It's so inspiring to watch Esther's journey. A young lady who started by being reluctant to go to Taraba State for her service here because she was scared of change and scared of the unknown. This is not an unfamiliar emotion, right? But today, she is an established entrepreneur who has made a new home for herself in the state. On that beautiful note, we draw the curtain on today's episode of NYSC Half Hour. We always love to hear from you. Please write to us on the online handles displayed on your screens right now, and we will write back. You could always catch us on NYSC TV on TSTV channel 365 and NYSC Radio 88.3 FM. Remember, the safety of core members in our communities is the responsibility of you and I. Until I see you next time, I am Nkem Agoa. Stay safe.
You obey the power on top. under the sun in the rain, with dedication and selflessness, Nigeria's heart and is yours. You forbid us triumph. Let us lead our nation high, under the sun in the rain, with dedication and selflessness, Nigeria's heart is
We are the innovative company that is standing out in printing. We are Abuja Global Link Limited, your all-in-one stop for printing from scratch to finish. Our services include digital and offset printing, security printing, direct printing on textiles, corporate gift items, including billboards nationwide. Head office number 6, 7, and 9, Lafayette Street, opposite UBA, Area 8, Gariki, Abuja. Call 091-3559-9999. We are Abuja Global Link Limited.
A country endowed with abundant natural resources, one that recognizes that its core strength lies in its massive human capital and its huge population, the fulcrum of its enormous manpower reserve. This is a country that belongs to all Nigerians, irrespective of tribe, language, or religion. And that is why the federal character principle is central to Nigeria's unity. By ensuring balance, fairness, and equity in recruitment into the federal public service and the distribution of national resources. And that is the golden rule for those vested with the responsibility of enforcing that principle at the Federal Character Commission. The mandate is to build the ideal Nigeria, a nation that is fair to all Nigerians.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Dialogue, empathy, love, and unity. These are vital components of nation building.
For all to be well, we appeal that we should refrain from volatile, provocative, inciting messages and language.
Let's build and not destroy.
What we face mostly now are flashes of cowardly attacks from the rump of groups that have been routed in one location or the other, moving to another to give the false impression that they are still strong. Our ultimate goal is to eliminate them altogether and restore total and lasting peace over every inch of the Nigerian soil. Sounding tall, but take it home. We are determined to ensure that every inch of the Nigerian soil is safe. That determination is there. The order has been given. But we shall continue to protect the lives and property of Nigerians and foreigners in our midst. We shall continue to work for the peace of the nation and deter elements that constitute threats to the people. We shall bear the full powers of the government to secure every inch of our land. We shall not rest until peace is fully restored to Nigeria.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
In a third final in 20 years.
This out of these votes, Yakata. Now you can get a GoTV decoder, GoTV, and 1 month of GoTV Jolly for only 4,900 naira and enjoy all the show-stopping games live from Qatar on GoTV.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as the elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Police is your friend, a mantra of the Nigeria Police Force that now wears thin as more citizens see members of the force as enemies. The question is, even if the police were our friends, are we still friends? In order to answer this question, one needs to dig into the foundation of the force to ascertain if there ever was a time that the people saw friends in the officers of the force.
We need a betterment of this nation.
Let's start from the post-military era of 2000, because before then there was some reform, but there's need to provide us background why we need reform. First, in 1999, we transited to civil rule, and during the military rule, police were severely neglected because in terms of what you might call power of enforcement and of coercion, military felt superior to police and it didn't need to develop police during that period. So military rule was a period of serious neglect of the police, the capacity whittled down, the prestige among members of the public also whittled down, and the trust of members of the public that police can actually secure safety for them was also low. We are still dealing with this problem today where the society has been highly militarized and people expect military to solve problems rather than police to deliver policing.
Nigerian police began on June 24, 2019, when President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Nigerian Police Trust Fund bill into law. This law seeks to actualize the vision and mission of Mr. President for the police to provide additional sources of funding with a view to mobilizing the police force. This has since been made operational by the Ministry of Police Affairs to realize its laudable objectives such as insulating police finance. The fund has successfully delivered on its 2020 and 2021 budgets with purchase of operational vehicles, arms and ammunition, bulletproof vests, helmets for police operations. The fund also purchased medical items to meet the health needs of policemen nationwide, while offices and residential accommodation for the police have also received facelift. We want to assure Nigerians that we are doing this for transparency and we are doing this for the good of the police themselves and for the fact that the police is now becoming as civil as possible, and Nigerians should be given the opportunity to report to the police what the police are doing for them, just how the police are reporting civilians or what they are doing to their fellow civilians. We should be working hand in hand. The police are friends of the citizens, so citizens should also see themselves as friends of the police. I think that is the only way to go forward, and I'm happy to say that the situation is improving by the day, and we look forward to more excellent relations with Nigerians. With the vision and mission of this administration, we want to assure you that Nigerians, to ensure Nigerians that the police are out there for them, and they should take advantage of that position.
The MPF has embarked on a deliberate policy to ensure maximal development of the force manpower. This is evidenced by the recruitment, training, and passing out of effective manpower at both constable cadre and from the police colleges and police training institutions or police training schools, and cadets from the Nigeria Police Academy, in consonance with the FG's reform agenda. Another set of 10,000 recruits are currently undergoing training at various police colleges and police training schools across the country. The President has also graciously approved and consistently provided funds for the annual recruitment, feeding, and kitting of 10,000 recruit constables. The multi-sectoral Presidential Police Reform Team has been established in the Office of the Chief of Staff to Mr. President. The team was inaugurated on the 26th of October 2022. The Presidential Committee on Police Reforms has effectively laid the foundation for a reformed Nigeria Police Force. Building blocks for a fully reformed police is already being laid, and this is evident in the current outlook of the Nigeria Police Force.
You can't place an institution like this on nothing. It must be placed on a legal framework.
If you do an analysis of why the Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, and the Jonathan attempt failed at police reform, one of the key reasons is because it was an exclusively executive initiative.
You have to understand the nature of reforms, especially when you're trying to reform a country, right, or a particular critical section of that country. Reforms to be sustainable have to be deep, in a way in which you unearth and excavate the underpinnings of that platform. They didn't have that. The other thing they did not have was the legislative arm in congruence with the work they're doing. Right? So it was just an executive fiat. The legislature was more or less left out. Even the police itself was left out of it. It was something that was being done at the police, ostensibly for the police, right? But it was more to the police than for the police.
Police reform, like every other major sector of society, is a work in progress. It's a continuum. Every country in the world today is reforming their police. You reform the police for various reasons. First, when there is scandal, that's always one of the triggers for police reform, and you have to do that. And we noticed that if you notice in the last decade, American police system, which is highly decentralized, which you want to copy and come to scandal from one city to another, So that people who call for Black Lives Matter and the rest of them, people call for police reform. In some other situation like happened against of 3 decades, 2 decades, and continue till now, in Britain, for example, it is efficiency that is driving the reform.
At the moment, the NPF has a 300,000 personnel force led by the Inspector General of Police. Over the years, this force has been plagued with systemic corruption that stemmed from colonial vestiges. More recently, with the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad, FSARS.
Before now, another policeman will believe he's a master. A policeman is not a master in any way, he's a servant.
The biggest problem started from the mid-70s, you know, so turning that around is not going to be obvious immediately, you know, and Nigerians might not feel the impact immediately.
Victor Hugo says, no army can stop an idea whose time has come. What we're seeing here is a total public sentiment, whole of government, whole of nation, about the need to reform the police in the wake of the NSAS movement. So this is essentially the long tail of SARS.
Nigerians took to the streets en masse as a response to human rights violations and harassment, mostly characterized by the use of torture to elicit responses and confessions from accused persons, to unprofessional handling of gender-based crimes, extrajudicial killings, and other dastardly practices while prosecuting cases. This protest met a climatic end on the 20th of October 2020.
The devastation of the NSAS movement was just total. It eviscerated an already weakened institution, and people don't fully understand the importance of police and its centrality to street level law and order, right, and the justice system itself. We just relegate it to the background. Part of that thing is the larger framing of our own understanding of the role of the police. Constitutionally, they are the arbiters of law and order, right? But over the last 40 years, under military rule, that role has been diminished by definitely almost a deliberate attempt to undermine the Nigerian police force by stripping away its constitutional authority and setting up new organizations that parallel the functions of the police. But constitutionally, there will be one police.
In line with the reform agenda of the president, to have that required police structure in Nigeria, we have tried in many ways to train our personnel to change the psyche. They are now more civil in discharging their duties. They are more professional in discharging their duties. You see cases in social media where civilians will be dragging rifles with a policeman on the road. And ordinarily, of course, you know, they definitely, you know, the end results without anyone telling you. But now it's not so. We've been able to work on the cycle of this, and I think the reform agenda is paid off in that area.
I mean, I think this year somebody was saying like this year, said is seeing evidence of more officers being dismissed for misconduct this year than in any other year, you know, in police. So a lot is happening, and a lot of the officers are getting the message.
As young Nigerians retreated from protesting, news headlines opened a can of worms to the systemic decay that have allegedly plagued the force for years.
We'll be using the old police acts that are not in tandem with present happenings and realities globally, not only Nigeria as a nation now, globally. But we have police, Nigeria Police Act 2020 as amended, that's captured so many things, that taking care of certain loopholes we used to have in the previous police act and regulation.
The cognitive dissonance is strong. They cannot see themselves outside what they've learned, right? Okay? And so it was necessary to start looking at something beyond and above the police as a target, right? So we're looking at the Nigerian police force over the next 15 to 20 years, evolving from a force to a service, right, that befits 21st century policing. So in that framing, we have a goal. We want the Nigerian police force to be the best of the best of the best, and alongside other police services that we evolve in the 21st century.
We do not want SARS anymore. We're not asking for reform. We're not asking you to come and do a press conference and tell us, oh, they are not allowed to do this, they are allowed to do this. This has happened multiple times. We need SARS completely abolished.
Nigerians are of the opinion that the force does not have the required capacity for criminal investigations and the administration of criminal justice in the country. Funding to welfare issues, the system has a
I will start effecting arrests.
And therefore, when the NSAS happened, we went to the foundation and said that, look, there is certainly a form of bias, and this form of bias is against young people. The stereotyping of young people as troublemakers, stereotyping of young people as people who are always cause problems, I think. And we thought that one way in which we can contribute towards responding to some of the challenges raised by NSAS was how can we support some form of police reform.
The core budget appropriation to the police has increased over the years, in the last few years. I think in the last 3 years, it moved from 19 to 29 billion. Now it's been moved, trying to move down to 39 billion.
The preeminence of the police is now clear. Everybody is saying that we have to reform the police. Even the military is saying we have to reform the police.
We need to transform the administration and the operations of the police. Secondly, we need to transform the administration and accountability systems of the police. And then the third is we need to transform the welfare of the police.
The area of public relations and media engagement has done well. You see that the police now is very active on all the social media platforms, particularly the Twitter. The Office of the President through Porto Police Reform and Transformation Office has been able to do a lot in this area, training police PROs on strategic communication and conflict management.
With reports from the Council of Foreign Relations stating that between March 2019 and February 2022, 92 Nigerians were reportedly killed across the federation by police personnel. Even more Nigerians wonder if there is an end in sight.
To go back to your initial question as to why this is working, is that because the mandate came through the office of the Chief of Staff, right, who appointed me as team leader, right, we decided, okay, we have to look at this thing differently. The reason why we have a roadmap and not a presidential police reform plan is that a roadmap is embedded in time and space. It's like a road, you're walking this road and there are milestones, right? The first phase of this journey ends May 29th, 2023, right? But the road continues. Right? And there are milestones from now till then that we have to just check and prepare the grounds for the further journey we're going ahead. The now modest estimation is going to take us at least 5 years to be able to do all the things we planned, right? Which means there has to be continuity, right? And we're optimistic that whoever comes into government will realize the importance of this particular development design to allow it to continue unabated.
Just like the proverbial case of the goat who's chased to a dead end, Nigerians have had enough of reform promises, and October 2020 was proof. President Muhammadu Buhari has reinforced his commitment to reform the Nigeria Police Force through the Presidential Roadmap on Police Reform. This has birthed the Nigeria Police Act 2020, Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015, and Anti-Torture Act 2017. All of these are commitments to strip the force away from the vestige of colonialism.
I've been working on how to make sure that all training schools, particularly the premier police colleges of the police, are being run on a legal framework again. So the presidency has 2 intervention funds, not even the budget of the police, special fund provided for police to buy kits. As I speak with you, we have 198 projects that the IGP has executed across the country. And out of these 198, I want to tell you now, without missing words, that we have 120 border stations.
I think we may have a very big goal of what the kind of police that we want, and I think that should be our goal. But achieving that will always take an incremental steps. So I am hoping that as we are keeping the big goal in picture, we are also paying attention to what are the little progress that we are making, and I believe that those cumulative small progress is what will eventually lead us to the big goal of what the kind of police that we want.
Without fail, the presidency has launched a roadmap on police reform with 6 major principles that will chart a new course for community policing.
So when Nigerians meet the police, any police officer on the road, the assumption is that these people are there to extort me. These people are there to oppress me. These people are there to make my life difficult. And therefore, what I want to do always is how do I avoid them? Part of this process is, how do we build the trust between the public and the police itself?
To create a force that is responsive to the needs of today, that is abreast with modern law enforcement, crime detection techniques, and that is technically sound.
What we're confronted with is something that is an existential threat to Nigeria, indeed to the Nigerian state itself. And the police might be 50% of the problem-solving mechanism to do that, right? But to be able to fix that problem, we have to fix the police first. So it's a total different and perhaps a more enlightened view of why we need a very strong, secure, well-financed, well-resourced, well-trained Nigerian police force. It's an existential crisis for Nigeria. It has nothing to do only with trying to reform the police in very glib terms. No, if the police fails, Nigeria fails.
The police institution has been one of neglect. They're like the orphans when it comes to forces. Okay, so people think they can be reformed, but I beg to differ. They can be reformed. We have the right tools in place and are working to get more right tools in place. And we're happy that the police are on board this reform, because we can't reform them without them being on board. So them being on board makes it easier and gives us the opportunity to work parallel with them in this reformation program.
The office has also begun an upward review of recruitment procedures and training in these institutions in partnership with Clean Foundation.
Well, the difference between the current reform and previous reforms is embedded in the fact that this current effort was a result of agitation by Nigeria youth through the NSAS protests, and that has led to a public outcry nationally and internationally. And so we have the federal government, state government, non-state actors, and of course international partners fully interested in making the Nigeria police more professional, more accountable, more transparent, and more responsive to the needs of the people. So looking at all of this pressure that is coming from both within and external, and the fact that you have a number of non-governmental organizations like Clean Foundation and a few others interested in this reform, and having the police hierarchy that is interested in the reform, means that we're going to have some five changes.
There are also ongoing collaborations with various countries to further beef up the technological capacity of the Nigeria Police Force in line with global best practices.
The ongoing reform has been a blessing to the police. The ongoing reform is a thing we need and must be sustained. For in the last 10 years, no IG has really come up with this provision of kits and attachment to police personnel. The IGP has done it more than 4 times now. Across board. I'm not talking of headquarters personnel. I'm not talking of commands alone. That's 7 commands. No. I'm talking of commands, zonal commands, formations, and departments. So we need to give kudos to the president and the portal for putting efforts in place to harness all available resources around them to reform the police. I know they have been thinking outside the box too, to involve foreign agencies, foreign companies who have been partnering with them in this regard. Policing is part of governance. If you're talking of good governance, you must talk of good policing structure. There are two things that are highly separable, and they must work together. One is a catalyst to another. Good governance promotes better policing system. A better policing system promotes good governance.
If police fails, Nigeria fails. So we cannot afford to fail. Nigerians have to wake up to the fact that we only have this police, this thin blue line to protect us from the chaos on the streets. Right? If your bicycle is stolen, you don't report to the army, you report to the police. And people have to begin to look at them differently as human beings. We love to complain. We want all the rights, but we have no responsibilities. For us to be able to be this great nation that we are, we have to change it and start looking at ourselves. The fact that we're actually sitting down here having an interview is a remarkable thing. A quote from Professor Achebe. You know, you're looking at him. I mean, luckily in my lifetime, I've been able to talk to these people, form associations respectfully. So Tunji, if God in his infinite wisdom made me a Nigerian, there's a reason. And if all Nigerians believe that there's a reason why they're here, I'm not from Niger, or not from Burkina Faso, or not, but we have to rekindle that sense of ourselves. Young Nigerians have to be able to dream of a better Nigeria and be willing to put in the hard graft that is necessary to make it happen.
This is a reformation like no other. It is strategic. It is granular. It is data-driven. And most of all, we are listening to Nigerians. The country is due for a rebirth, one that prioritizes security and community policing, an equipped system, a police that responds to the people. A Nigeria where police is your friend is beyond a mantra. We are building an experience where the police will work for you.
NTA, you can't beat the rich. This is the network service of the NTA.
We are glad we got you today again on the Power Circuit. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, brings you this program to enlighten you the more about its mandate of transmitting bulk electricity in Nigeria. I am Amara Agugoesi, and together we get the best of this time. Here are the headlines. TCN Government Board inspects delivery of 22 power transformers, other equipment. Oshobo Transmission Substation gets new 300 MVA power transformer. TCN acquires advanced fire protection system for substations. We bet you would love this episode of the Power Circuits. The Governing Board of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has commended the management for the historic stocking of the Ojo Central Store in Lagos with 22 brand new power transformers, spare parts, and critical equipment. More of the equipment have also arrived at the Lagos port for onward delivery to the store. while some will be deployed to various ongoing project sites for installation. Some other equipment will be kept in the store to serve as spares for future use.
Speaking during an inspection of the TCN Central Store, the Technical and Monetary Committee of the Governing Board, led by the committee chairman Nsima Ekere, described the equipment as the highest of such in the company's history. They include 22 power transformers, haulage trucks, transmission switchyard spare parts, 45 units of earthing transformers, suspension clamps, vibration dampers, armor rods, circuit breakers, current transformer, voltage transformers, 100 tons crane truck heads, among others. Commenting on the historic delivery, Mr. Ekere lauded TCM for the record stock delivery to the store.
I want to say that we are very, very impressed with what we've seen here. On arrival, we've seen loads of equipment that gives me hope that the new dawn that we've been expecting in TCN is here. From the scissors lifts, we saw about 30 of them. We also saw the mobile transformer reconditioning facilities, all kinds of things. We saw conductors, isolators, and all the equipment. We also saw some very giant transformers. These are all to improve the capacity of TCN and the efficiency in doing their work.
Mr. Ekere said that with the massive stock at the TCN Central Store, the capacity of TCN to wheel power is definitely being enhanced.
With all the projects going on, the transmission expansion projects of TCN, at the end of the day, we can very easily in the next 2-3 years double our capacity.
With this, TCN can now ensure constant maintenance of the grid due to availability of spares. Also, expansion and prompt scheduled maintenance of the grid will ensure a more efficient and effective transportation of bulk electricity to distribution load centers nationwide for the benefit of Nigerians. The projects, when completed, will further enhance the quality and stability of bulk supply, as well as a longer hours of power supply.
We'll be right back after this break.
Ceasefire there.
Guys, I have a business that can change our lives.
Business?
Business that can change our lives.
Guys, if money is involved, take it. But don't know the kind of business.
Business is business.
Look at me. Hey, guy. That's me.
Real money, and there's a big market for it.
Good. Is it vandalism that you have brought me here to do?
Yes.
Something that can take me to jail. Something that can destroy our economy and spoil what the government wants to achieve.
Real money.
I can't. Still it, man. I can't.
Even you,
shut up your mouth. I will never go to jail. Vandalism. God forbid. God forbid.
Look at the people I want to help. Please, I beg you. I beg you. This is the handwork of the devil. Please.
Be part of our economic growth. Do not destroy electricity power installations. Do not destroy government effort to provide electricity for all. Report any suspicious person found stealing or loitering around power installations to any security operatives close to you or to the nearest transmission company of Nigeria office.
This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria.
TCN, transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
Nigeria is on the drive to increase access to electricity, and one of the implementing agencies of this goal is the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Just recently, the management has delivered the 300 MVA power transformer to the 330, 132, 33 kilovolts Osogbo transmission substation in Osun State. Officials say this is to increase the bulk power capacity of the substation, which is a critical asset for the power transmission network.
This is the 330, 132, 33 kilovolts Osogbo substation of TCN, where a brand new 300 MVA power transformer has been allocated to. As the power transformer arrived with their accessories, officials at the substation were excited about this. Assistant General Manager Transmission at the Osogbo sub-region of TCN, Engineer Kolade Adelakun, said it was an exciting time for TCN staff at the substation.
Today we are taking delivery of our long-awaited 300 MVA 330 132 33 kV transformer here in TCN. We are expecting that the transformer is going to really boost our power delivery in TCN region.
Not too long, a power transformer was delivered to the substation, but Engineer Delacun said that was a 100 MVA transformer, noting the present arrival has 3 times that capacity.
That time we had a 100 MVA 132 33 kV. We call that one 40. This one we call it 47. To make it that's smaller. This transformer that comes now, we transform from 330 kilovolts to 132 kilovolts. That other one is a 132 33 kilovolts transformer. It is smaller rated transformer, 132 33 kV. So this one is a 330 33 kV.
Another exciting thing about the new delivery of the 300 MVA power transformer is that the space and accessories are ready for instant installation and the energizing of the equipment.
The transformer plate has been constructed appropriately and adequately. And you can see it over there. That's where the transformer is going to sit. That's where it's going to sit on the plate. And all the accessories for this transformer has arrived before the transformer itself comes in. It's a good day for us.
Upon arrival of a 300 power transformer, the workers were ready to take all the safety precautions to unload the power equipment. The principal manager transmission Osogbo sub-region, Engineer Samuel Aladi, also made remarks about the historic power equipment delivery at the substation.
This is part of the efforts of the federal government and TCN at large in improving power delivery to the populace, to the community around this environment. The transformer in question alone, when completed, would have increased the wheeling capacity of this station by more than 40%. I need to be specific, some 43 to 54.5% available capacity will be delivered by this station once this project is done. We have our hopes up, believing that at the rate at which TCN is pursuing most of these projects, this one will be delivered on time, and we can completely pay to all the suppressed load that are being advocated by the distribution company around us here. We want to say we are more than ready to deliver power to the public.
I'm Engineer Mahmoud, the General Manager Transmission of Osogbo. Right now, we are at Osogbo Transmission Station. It's 330, 133 kV transmission station. And as you can see behind me, we are at the reactor side, the new reactor that was supplied for installation at the substation, 75 MX. Basically, this part of the effort being made by the transmission company of Nigeria in its bid to upgrade the wheeling capacity of the grid.
Today, we are just taking delivery of yet another major power system equipment, a shunt reactor. This is a 75 MX 330 kV reactor. Its purpose is to suppress high voltage in the system. This further lays credence to the good effort of the TCN management, and of course, ably assisted by the federal government of Nigeria in ensuring quality power delivery to the populace.
The power circuit continues in a moment. Kindly stay with us.
Oh my God, what caused this fire? Eh? God help us. Assuming this thing happened in the night, nobody from this building would have come out alive.
Madam, this is why we have warned landlords not to erect structures under the high voltage lines. If this high voltage line fell on the ground, nothing would have happened. But because this structure has been wrongly erected and the high voltage line fell on it, that is why whatever has happened has happened. We advise landlords to always consult the transmission company of Nigeria on their safety compliance on the right of way, so that something like this does not happen again.
Oga, we are talking of Bond's house and you are talking of right of way. What is right of way and safety compliance?
Safety compliance simply means before erecting any structure around any electricity tower or line, there are safety distances you must adhere to. These safety distances are 25 meters on both sides of the electric tower in the case of a 330 kV, 15 meters on both sides of the electric tower in the case of a 132 kV, and 7.5 meters on both sides of the electric tower in the case of a 33/11 kV. These stipulated safety distance instructions are what we call right of way. If these simple, basic safety distances are adhered to, trust me, there will be less loss of property and lives resulting from cut transmission lines.
Visit Transmission Company of Nigeria office nearest to you for your safety regulations before erecting structures. Let us save lives and properties and build a stronger Nigeria. This message is from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
The acquisition of an advanced fire protection system by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has been described as a proactive step by the management towards preventing incidents and improving on the quality of bulk power transmission from the substations. This is according to Engineer Musa Shuaibu, who is the Assistant General Manager, Transmission at Post Sub-Region of the TCN Abuja region.
Speaking at the 132-33 kilovolts Katampe transmission substation during a fire protection system preventive maintenance and training, The Assistant General Manager Transmission, Engineer Musa Shuaibu, said installation of a fire system protection for the substation was part of the TCN precautionary maintenance schedule.
The fire protector attached to the transformer, there's an alarm that came on and refused to reset. So we now quickly asked the operation duty to file an emergency outage so that we can come and check. Because TCN as a policy make sure that everything that has to do with transformer protection is being given the priority, just like every other switch gears we have. So we quickly come down here to see how we can look at what the problem is and arrest it quickly.
Engineer Shuaibu further explained the function of the fire protection system for transformers in a power substation.
Like the power protector, fire protector device is a kind of mechanical protector attached to the transformer, such that when you have an issue of fire outbreak, instead of allowing the fire the transformer to explode, it tends to suppress the fire, that is, suppress the transformer from exploding. That equally will help, if at all, if there's anything like that, to see that the transformer is being brought back to life. Because most times when you have fire outbreak on transformers, it's gone forever. But with this technology now, what it does is I tend to suppress and limit that explosion and the losses that might come in as associated with that transformer consign.
Once there is such operation, the various departments of TCN in the Abuja region comprising the electrical and the protection and control work together to enhance their capacities under the guidance of the representative of the original equipment manufacturer of the power transformer.
Once in a while, like the Nigerian representative here do call round to ask, do you have any issue? We say no. We used to tell him, and they do advise us on what to do in terms of maintenance.
The TCN official noted that there is a new agreement between the TCN management and the original supplier of the fire protection system and maintenance for the installed power transformer to train the in-house engineers of TCN.
The training is incorporated. You can see it's going to be a double advantage, most especially for us in Abuja, and equally round, because I asked him, the Nigerian representative, the way you call me, do you call every other person? He said yes. In fact, he just finished calling other people before calling me, that he does that. And equally to this would be an opportunity for us. It's not only here. I think there are about close to, most of the 150 MVAs we have and other transformers we have. The management says they need to install these devices. So what they are doing now is, as they are doing it, they'll be training our staffs.
The Nigerian representative of Segi Transformer Protector France, Engineer Ahmed Usman, also spoke about the training exercise on the fire protection system.
The transformer explosion and fire prevention technology manufactured by Sagi France is a preventive technology. It prevents transformer from explosion and going up in flames. Basically, let's be able to understand this very well. It is a preventive technology. In fact, it's about one of the best in the world. It's adopted by several countries. In fact, ESCOM South Africa have chosen it as their only protection technology in the whole of their system. And thank God, Nigeria is imbibing the culture now, and gradually TCN, in its own wisdom, is beginning to implement the system gradually in the system. And for us, it's a welcome development.
The theme worked through the protection system, the transformers, and other equipment at the switchyard. At the control room of the 132 kilovolt Katampe substation in Abuja, the team also looked at the protection control panels, ensuring that every section of them were in top shape.
There's a reset button. When they reset, they refuse to reset. We said, leave it out. Quickly, we now bring them here. So this one, what we're having, this panel, what we're having here is just the monitor what is happening right inside the transformer. There's a connection between that, the hardware and this panel, which is the software. So anything that is happening there, you are seeing here.
Verify that land before you buy it. To drastically reduce the incidence of building under the transmission right-of-way or encroaching on designated TCN land, members of the public are hereby requested to verify land near or along transmission line route before purchasing it. Verification should be made in the Land Development Authority or at the TCN office. This would help in drastically reducing the incidence of building under transmission line right-of-way and save us all the problem of pulling down the structure or truncating transmission line expansion projects in your community due to court injunction. Help us serve you better. Verify that land before you buy it.
We stock our stores because we understand the dynamics of sustaining electricity supply services. At TCN, our driving force is to serve customers more efficiently by quickly responding to needs and cutting downtimes with adequate space in our stores. TCN transmitting bulk electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
That is it on this edition. But let's have the headlines again. TCN Governing Board inspects delivery of 22 power transformers, other equipment at Lagos store. Oshobo Transmission Substation gets new 300 MVA power transformer. TCN acquires advanced fire protection system for substations. We urge you to keep in touch with us on the TCN YouTube channel and these other platforms. We welcome more responses from you as it helps the company to drive its power transmission expansion plan for the good of Nigeria. I am Amara Agugoesi saying hello.
This week on Executive Discuss.
You say charity begins at home. So the first thing the government will do, because if you look at the travel of the Nigerian government personnel, the travel budget in a year that is given to foreign airlines is huge. Now, most civil servants in Abuja have to travel out of travel on courses, on training, whatever it is. They fly for it. If you have a sort of a national carrier or a flag carrier, I say at this point, the policy should be there, not just policy now. A law should be put to say you must fly Nigerian.
That particular.
So where you have 2-3 flag carriers, the law must insist that you fly one of them.
A day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
A country endowed with abundant natural resources. One that recognizes that its core strength lies in its massive human capital and its huge population, the fulcrum of its enormous manpower reserve. This is a country that belongs to all Nigerians, irrespective of tribe, language, or religion. And that is why the federal character principle is central to Nigeria's unity. By ensuring balance, fairness, and equity, in recruitment into the federal public service and the distribution of national resources. And that is the golden rule for those vested with the responsibility of enforcing that principle at the Federal Character Commission. The mandate is to build the ideal Nigeria, a nation that is fair to all Nigerians.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment.
Inherently harmless. It becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Good evening. It is Wednesday again, so our comprehensive news package is on the runway to take you to the length and breadth of the nation, treating developing stories, issues of the moment, reviews and interviews with the professionalism and the extra diligence you deserve. Tonight, Nigeria's ever-expanding potentials in oil is under consideration as the House of Representatives discusses big debasing. Wealth beneath the surface. Nigeria's vast riches in the solid mineral sector set to be met by solid investment and expertise. On census, National Population Commission counts on citizens' desire to be counted for a successful exercise next year. On international diplomacy, more glowing feathers for President Buhari in Guinea-Bissau. From Vietnam with love, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo rekindles Nigeria's warm relationship with Southeast Asian nation. In politics, we track campaign promises from the podiums and reactions from the galleries as the race to the presidential villa gathers pace. We have these and other reports on health, the environment, and sports on our lineup. So let's tuck in together. You know, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Morbuba, and this is News Extra. You're welcome. Don't forget, you can follow this news live on our website, nta.ng/live, NTA News Now, and other social media platforms displayed on the screen. President Muhammadu Buhari is back in the country after a one-day official visit to the Republic of Guinea-Bissau. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president arrives Umaru Musa International Airport, Katsina, about 8 o'clock Wednesday evening. He was received on arrival by the Katsina State Governor, Aminu Bello Masari, and other top officials of his administration. The president then proceeded to Daura, his ancestral home, on a 4-day private visit. The last time President Buhari visited the ancient town was during the Eid al-Kabir celebrations in July this year. During President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to Guinea-Bissau, he was conferred with the highest national honor of the country in appreciation of his significant leadership role and enormous contributions to peace, security, stability, and democratic governance in Guinea-Bissau and the West African sub-region. 2 major roads were also named after him in the capital of Bissau. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports.
It was a warm and highly befitting welcome for President Muhammadu Buhari by his Guinea-Bissau's counterpart, Umaru Sissoco Embalo, on arrival at Osvaldo Vieira International Airport for a state visit. President Buhari played a significant role in stabilizing the political and security situation in Guinea-Bissau, which faced serious threat of disintegration after the disputed 2020 elections. President Embalo, who is the current chairman of the ECOWAS, had maintained that Guinea-Bissau and its people cannot thank President Buhari enough. Consequently, a major road in the capital Bissau was named after the Nigerian leader, and his first major task on arrival was to personally inaugurate it as a mark of honor. And thereafter, at the seat of government, President Muhammadu Buhari was formally decorated by his Guinea-Bissau's counterpart, Umaru Sissoco Embalo, with the country's highest national honors award. A one-on-one meeting was earlier held between the two leaders before joining their respective countries' delegations for bilateral talks on areas of common interest for both Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau. The talks were aimed at deepening and expanding relations between the two countries in critical economic sectors. President Umaru Embalo said President Buhari and Nigeria deserve much more for immensely contributing to the stability and advancement of his country, and hopes that its token of appreciation will further re-energize the relations and propel the two countries to greater heights.
He is our national hero of Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde, and is a good son of Africa.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who appreciated the honor done to him, promised to remain steadfast in ensuring that Guinea-Bissau remains democratic, stable, and prosperous.
Nigeria has on its own, as well as through ECOWAS, intervened at critical periods in the life of this country, making immense direct contributions, as well as by supporting international efforts on the peace process in Guinea-Bissau. This fact has further reinforced our relations, enhanced understanding and the trust between our two countries. Let me assure President Embalo of the continued disposition of Nigeria towards sustaining and strengthening democracy and good governance in our sub-region.
During the visit, various national honors awards were also conferred on Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, the National Security Advisor, Babagana Munguno, Director General, National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ahmed Rufai Abubakar, the State Chief of Protocol, Ambassador Lawal Kazauri, and the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Household and Domestic Matters, Muhammad Sarki Abba.
This is really big for Nigeria because we as a country, we are making enormous sacrifices in the sub-region and on the entire continent. And I think over time it has worried Nigerians that there is no reciprocation on the part of African countries, no appreciation, for the kind of sacrifices we make in order to sustain democracy in those nations, to preserve them as entities, as states and all of that. So what has happened today in Bissau is that Guinea is saying, look, Nigeria has done so much for us under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, and that we're not shy about coming out to tell the world that we are proud to be recipients, of the enormous support given by President Muhammadu Buhari to our country.
The cordial relations between Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau dates back to the West African nation's liberation struggle from Portugal. Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And as Vice President Yemi Osinbajo ends a 3-day bilateral visit to Vietnam, President Nguyen Xuan Phuc says Vietnam prioritizes strengthening ties with Nigeria. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Climbing high, hand in hand, and with a big smile, signaling mutual respect that the two countries for each other. As Vice President Yemi Osinbajo arrives at the Vietnamese seat of government and was received by the Vietnamese leader, both leaders looked back to where the journey of the two countries began, where it is now, and what the future holds. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo hails the development in the bilateral ties and says this has been deepened in a substantive and effective manner.
Just as we have said at all the meetings that I held, it is time for renewed level of relations. It is time for stronger bonds. It is time for more cooperation. It is time for more collaboration. I think we are ready to do that. We, Nigeria, are ready to work even more closely with Vietnam in business, commerce, in agriculture, technology, in various areas.
While commending the Vietnamese government for being a jolly good fellow, he says Nigeria will continue to be a worthy partner. The two agreed to exchanging of visits by leadership of both countries to raise mutual understanding and trust and enhance cooperation opportunities, especially in the economy.
There's a lot of benefits and mutual benefits that we are going to be seeing between Nigeria and Vietnam going forward.
Those in the Vice President's delegation include the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Ade Ikpanye, and Ambassador Adamu Mamani Hazard of the Nigerian High Commission in Vietnam. Well, the two countries treasure their diplomatic ties, which started way back in 1976, and they have shown strong determination to create a balance of trade via a favorable conditions of imports and exports. In honor, Vietnam, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Back home, our next report is a pointer to why procrastination is not a good path to toe. And it is coming from the red chambers. Senate has resolved to slash the 2023 budget of ministries, departments and agencies of government that fail to appear before its Committee on Public Accounts. Ministries, departments and agencies of government are expected to appear before the Parliamentary Committee to defend queries raised by the Auditor General of the Federation and other issues, including service-wide votes. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko has that.
At the commencement of plenary, Senator Mato Rogide, who is also chairman of Senate Committee on Public Accounts, raised the point of order calling for decisive action against ministries, departments and agencies of government who are yet to respond to the invitation of the committee.
I don't want to use harsh words that they have become recalcitrant, but they have vehemently refused to appear before our committee. This list of agencies and of course the amount that is attached or that's against their names that they have spent, they are staggering.
In the next 1 week, if the name of an agency is here, that agency should reach the Committee on Public Accounts of the Senate to sort out when the agency will appear before the committee. If there is no communication whatsoever and no cogent and verifiable reasons are given, we'll slash the budget.
Senate has confirmed Lanre Bajabia-Mila as Director General of the National Lottery Regulatory Commission for a second and final term. The FCT 2023 budget of 502.9 billion naira passed second reading as the senator representing the FCT, Philip Aduda, drew the attention of the Senate to the release by the Central Bank of Nigeria on withdrawal limit of the redesigned naira note and its likely effects.
Our commerce, I don't think, is ready for this, and our economy cannot take this shock.
If we want to be cashless society, we should take time to be cashless society, not to jump at once.
The Nigeria Atomic Energy Commission Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill, sponsored by Senator Emmanuel Oke-Jeff, and the Administration of Criminal Justice Act Amendment Bill by Senator Chukwuka Otazi, passed second reading.
What happens after you've been convicted or your convictions are affirmed by Court of Appeal, and you are instantly taken into custody, and you serve 3-4 years, and the sentence is 4 years, and at the end of the day, Supreme Court rules and set aside the judgment of the lower court? How do they compensate you?
Meanwhile, the Chief Whip of the Senate, Orji Uzor Kalu, has advised spokespersons to all the presidential candidates to desist from verbal attacks and focus on ideas and how to create jobs. He stated this when he granted audience to members of the Senate Press Corps.
People's democracy is about what we can do for the people. And I want you people to carry this message very strong.
The journalists were in his office to present him with the award of senator with the best constituency projects from the National Assembly. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria could have an additional 40 billion barrels of oil reserves by 2023, going by studies that reveal presence of hydrocarbon in commercial quantity in the Bida Basin in Niger State. The House of Representatives is positive on this and has asked the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the NNPC to fast-track exploration activities. National Assembly correspondent reports that the representative Sa'idu Musa brought up the issue during plenary.
It was an exciting news for House members coming after the latest finds in Kolmani, as Representative Sa'idu Musa gave the narration on studies in the Bida Basin which showed a strong presence of hydrocarbon-bearing indicators, confirmed as oil and gas formations.
The discovery of oil in another region of Nigeria is good news for the country's energy sector, and that if the volume of oil in the Bida Basin is established and the exploration activities commence fully, Nigeria may in the near future overtake Libya, the country with the largest oil reserve in Africa.
The House urged fast-tracking of exploration to ascertain the availability of hydrocarbon in the basin. The motion from Yusuf Gagdi urging implementation of acts of the National Assembly in relation to upgrade of colleges of education to universities was supported.
Mandate the Committee on Appropriation to substitute the Federal College of Education projects, since they don't exist anymore, for aforesaid Federal University of Education.
The President has signed an act of parliament and they are not reflecting it. You do the proper thing by making sure it's reflected, but you also have to find out the conditions precedent.
Of course, with this synergy, we alone in the parliament cannot make law execute for the good governance. We need the collaboration, and it is a collaboration with the executive that have brought us to where we are.
The budget came with the old name. Now you can chalk that down to a mistake. There's an act of parliament signed by Mr. President. There's nothing to investigate. Just change the name to what it's supposed to be.
Bill to establish Federal College of Education, Jingri, Plateau State, sponsored by Muhammad Al-Ali, and bill to establish National Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Okota, in Lagos, from Abiodun Johnson, passed second reading, while 3 bills were read the third time and passed, among them bill establishing the Nigerian Peace Corps. The bill reenacting the Insurance Act with provisions to improve such business in Nigeria, sponsored by Darlington Mokwacha, was among those considered and approved at the Committee of the Whole.
When passed into law, we will deepen and strengthen the insurance industry, considering the fact that there are so many obsolete clauses and sections of the existing law.
Meanwhile, the House Committee on Aviation, at a meeting with the International Air Transport Association, reassured that the CBN has put in place a mechanism for the liquidation of funds belonging to foreign airlines.
The last time we met, the CBN governor also promised that there will be some releases, which we did some, and he said that with time they will be improving on the releases.
Today I got the fuel prices and the difference between how much the fuel is and how much the aviation fuel is, the crack of $50 in some countries in Africa. And so we look at 1,000 things and we advocate.
The association is soliciting the release of such funds in foreign currency. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
In another story, the federal government has realized over 120 billion naira in the continued fight against corruption. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed disclosed this at the 8th edition of the PMB Scorecard 2015 to 2023 series. Anthony Forson reports.
Information and Culture Minister announced that the over 120 billion naira is proceeds from criminal financial operations since the bill on proceeds of crime recovery management was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari in May this year.
That the administration's fight against corruption is very much on track. As you may already know, Mr. President signed into law the Proceeds of Crime, Recovery and Management Bill 2022 on the 12th of May 2022. That bill was one of the three which Mr. President signed into law that day. The other two are the Money Laundering, Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2022 and Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2022.
The Information Minister was emphatic that the funds will be used to fund critical projects around the country.
In line with the new law, all relevant agencies of government have now opened a confiscated and for future properties account with the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. I can confirm that so far, the federal government has realized over 120 billion naira, among other currencies, from poker. The money is being used to fund the completion of ongoing critical infrastructure projects in the country, like the second Niger Bridge, as well as Lagos-Ibadan and Abuja-Kano expressways. We will continue to update you on this.
Fielding questions from journalists, the Minister of Environment, Mohammed Abdullahi, who had his turn at the ongoing PMB Scorecard 2015-2023, placed the blame on ecological problems and funding on the doorsteps of other tiers of government.
Initially, the federal government handles ecological funds, but the state argued that they must be given their own share of ecological funds. The federal government accepted, and at every FAC allocation, they give their own share of allocation to states. So to come out and accuse the federal government of inaction is very unfair. Haven't gotten your fair share of your ecological funds over the years. So I find that very, very amusing, because each state is paid its share of ecological fund.
Next in line will be the turn of the Minister of Mines and Steel Development. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Humanity has become a weapon of mass destruction once, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, as parties to the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, meet in Canada for the 15th conference to agree on a post-2020 biodiversity framework for the protection of nature. Onenge Femfis reports.
Climate change events are pushing planet Earth to a tipping point of catastrophe. Science shows as weather extremes continue to devastate countries around the world. It is agreed that climate change is man-made, but the consequences go far beyond, affecting the world's biological diversity and forcing many wild species into extinction. United Nations Convention on Biodiversity, CBD's COP15 in Montreal, Canada, is a global effort at forging a new deal for nature to save the planet's forests, oceans and species.
And the scientists have underlined to us, this is our last chance to act. Otherwise, all of us will perish. And unfortunately, we have no planet B to go to.
Draft targets for the 10-year framework include a cornerstone pledge to protect 30% of the world's land and seas by 2030.
It's about a few days to act decisively and with principle. And action must be bold, not bracketed, so that we can get this deal done.
The official opening of COP15 follows several days of pre-negotiations that saw very little progress on key issues.
Ecosystems have become playthings of profit. With our bottomless appetite for unchecked and unequal economic growth, humanity has become a weapon of mass extinction. We are treating nature like a toilet, and ultimately, we are committing suicide by proxy.
Finance is among the most divisive issues as developing nations demand increased funding for conservation, which wealthy nations are resisting. On NTA, Fine Face, NTA News.
Thank you, Nengi, for that. Now, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources is mobilizing water users to take ownership of water resources at their disposal and safeguarding against harmful practices that may jeopardize both the water facilities and crop under cultivation across farming sites. Yohana Sohassan reports that this is as it pursues proactive measures at safeguarding and maximizing benefits of its multi-billion-naira investments in developing water resources.
Experts have identified indiscriminate dumping of domestic waste and effluent discharges from industries as causative factors that lead to reduction in crop yields, in addition to making food consumed raw or mildly cooked very hazardous. Concerned by this, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources deemed it imperative to hand over the management of some components of irrigation facilities recently upgraded by the Transformation Irrigation Management in Nigeria project.
The aim is to bring about 100 million Nigerians out of poverty, and the only way this can be achieved is through irrigated agriculture. And when we have that, we have to maintain the structure by not doing things that will hamper the sustainability of the irrigation facilities.
A lack of cleaning of canals, taking bath and washing in the canals, washing spray instruments that contain harmful agrochemicals that will be dangerous for human health, and many other things that they are supposed to guard against, so that we can have a very safe water for irrigation and for consumption.
Doing this, the Minister of Water Resources, Sulaiman Adamu, says will require concerted efforts of all water users. Salamatu Ahmed is among the water users selected to be part of the sensitization program and is happy over the knowledge she acquired, hence this promise from her. I will go back home and enlighten my co-women on the dangers this pose to our crop production and our health. Authorities in the Federal Ministry of Water Resources believe that engaging people like Salamatu and traditional rulers in creating massive awareness will help reduce the indiscriminate waste discharges at all levels and the dangers associated with them. In Kano, Yohana Sohassan, NTA.
Interesting. The National Population Commission says it is re-strategizing its advocacy to ensure that census messages reach every nook and cranny of Nigeria while ensuring enhanced full participation of citizens. Oluseyi Adiabo reports that the NPC plans to take the census campaign to mass gatherings, beginning with an exhibition stand at the ongoing 43rd Kano International Trade Fair.
Population and housing census is said to be among the most complex peacetime exercises a nation can undertake. However, central to executing a census is public awareness campaigns, canvassing all households to get the people's buy-in. The Kano International Trade Fair is an annual business exhibition. Recent statistics reveal that the event attracts much more than 2 million visitors, with participants coming from within and outside the country. As a way of reaching people at the grassroots and in their numbers, the MPC acquired a census exhibition stand and is now using it to showcase the Commission's activities.
Exercise like the census, you need to explore various ways of reaching out the public who are diverse. Some, if you cannot get them on the street, if you cannot get them through the radio, you can get them through mass-oriented activities like trade fair.
In markets, people obtain latest gist and they carry it back home. And that's why we are coming to Kano, where we believe that Kano is one of the major commercial centers in Nigeria.
Platforms like this, the NPC says it will continue to leverage to strengthen its 2023 census campaigns so as to encourage participation of all citizens.
We want the message to be taken to them. The National Population Commission has gotten to an advanced stage in preparation for the conduct of 2023 population and housing census.
As Nigeria prepares for its first census in 17 years, the guiding principle of the National Population Commission is found in the slogan, "You can't be counted," emphasizing that no one will be left behind. From Kano, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
We'll take our first break now. When we return, electricity supply, tariffs and expectation will come under our lenses.
Edition of the PMB Administration Scorecard Series will feature the Honorable Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Mr. Olamilekon Adigbite. Date, Thursday, 8th December 2022. Time, 10:30 a.m. Venue, National Press Center, Radio House, Abuja. The event will be covered live by NTA, FRCN and VON and streamed on the social media handles of the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Announcer, Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jeffia, MNI, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
I dey look for pension fund administrator. West up, makes sense, wake care for me. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. No. The bank with you, them no go stress you. Call them, then they accessible. Customer care where they on point. No go regret when you try up cutter. Profitable investment, everything just a blend. Pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium pension. Make that switch to premium pension.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
Ooh, this food is delicious. Can I have my bitters now?
Okay.
What is this? Is this my bottle of bitters?
Yes. Any problem?
Any problem? No. I'm not going to take them. I want my yo-yo bitters now.
Darling, but bitters is bitter.
Look. Let me tell you. When your bitters is bitter, it is unique in formulation and effective in action. So take this funny stuff away and get me my yo-yo bitters now.
Yo-yo bitters is naturally enriched with ingredients that flushes out the body impurities, tackles waist pain, and resolves constipation. It is also fortified with vitamins. Yo-yo bitters boosts your body immunity against diseases and free radicals.
Because it is different in formula and action, I don't accept substitute.
Yo-yo bitters, but clean inside out. Everyone has a Chivita this season. What's your Chivita?
The federal government of Nigeria has set up a panel to investigate the menace of crude oil theft and losses in all its ramifications, including illegal connections to pipelines, pipeline vandalism, product diversion, illegal bunkering, excess loading, illegal refining, manipulation of lifting approvals, abandonment of wellheads, manipulation of records, and other related issues. The panel has commenced its sitting. Accordingly, the panel invites memoranda from ministries, departments, agencies, corporate bodies, communities, and all interested individuals and groups that will aid the panel in its assignment and in proffering lasting solution to the menace. Memoranda should be concise and precise, analyze the issues, and itemize recommendations. 10-number hard copies as well as soft copies of memorandum should be submitted physically or by courier to the Chairman Special Investigative Panel on Oil Theft Losses in Nigeria, care of Office of the National Security Advisor, 3-Ounce Zone, Abuja. Memorandum should be submitted within 2 weeks from the date of the publication of this notice. Announcer, Secretary, Special Investigative Panel on Oil Theft Losses in Nigeria.
I'm Chief Dr. Eric Umofia, Mish, the Tomato King. Do you know that if you patronize Made in Nigeria, our Naira will be stronger, jobs will be created locally for all. At Erisco Foods Limited, we produce a wide range of household brands, including Erisco, Ligico, and Nagico 100% natural tomato paste, which has created thousands of jobs for our use and support the growth of our economy. We thank President Muhammad Buhari for supporting the local tomato sector and urge government agencies at all levels to comply now with government policies on this. Are you among the ones importing or buying foreign tomato paste? You are killing yourself, the family, and the economy. If you don't stop today, you are batting and supporting evil against our nation. We thank all loyal partners since inception. We bow for you. Eat healthy, live healthy, buy Erisco products, buy Made in Nigeria. Thank you all.
Erisco Foods Limited, feeding Africans with healthy foods.
You're welcome. The harrowing experience of insurgency in the northeast leaves much to be desired. Apart from other consequences, hunger was prominent and alluding to the saying that there is nothing greater than love invested in helping to feed the impoverished living in hunger. The King Salman food donation came handy to internally displaced persons in Borno. Here is Ilyasu Ali Yakubu with the details.
1,000 households of internally displaced persons in 8 camps and host communities in Borno State are benefiting from the latest King Salman donations. The food basket of each of the household comprises a bag of rice, beans, masa vita flour, vegetable oil as well as condiment. The IDPs commended the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center for the show of support to their plight.
Duka wanda suka bada wannan ma Allah ya saka musu, Allah ya ba su.
Na yi godiya sosai wallahi Allah ba da Allah.
Mun ji dadi mun murna.
The representative of King Salman Relief Center, Ali Yusuf Abdul Karim, said the center is passionate about providing relief assistance to the needy in the society. He said the center will continue to extend relief support to the victims of insurgency and banditry in the country.
This aid comes as an extension of the relief and humanitarian effort provided by the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Governor Babagana Umar Zulum of Borno State described the donation as a maximum show of love for the people in need.
Let me warn those that are in charge of the distribution exercise to ensure that this item reach the downtrodden.
Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, is confident that each of the households profiled by the agency will surely benefit.
As the saying goes, it is in time of crisis that real friends are identified. In this regard, the government and the people of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have proven to be real friends and brothers of Nigeria through their great benevolence to the country.
Aside the donation of food items to the IDPs in the northeast, the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center had previously donated some digital equipment to Nema for improved productivity. From Maiduguri in Borno State, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
It's everyone there, I must say. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has presented 2023 appropriation bill to the tune of 234,831,950,000 naira. The budget size comprises 144,175,033,000 naira for capital expenditure and 90,656,917 naira as recurrent expenditure. Mohammed Goni reports.
Budget of Continuity and Sustainability, the 2023 proposed budget is to be financed from recurrent revenue of 137.8 billion naira, comprising statutory revenue of 67.9 billion naira, as well as internally generated revenue of 33.1 billion naira, among others. The 2023 budget, like the previous one, is based on the federal government's fiscal focus for 2023 to 2025 medium-term expenditure framework, which is already domesticated for the first time in the state and will be facilitated by enhanced internally generated revenue as projected. Sectoral allocation shows that Ministry of Finance got the highest allocation of 30.3 billion naira, followed by the Ministry of Education with 28.2 billion naira, while the Ministry of Health and Human Services was allocated 19.9 billion naira for both capital and recurrent expenditure.
In the last 3 years, I have had the privilege and opportunity of benefiting the budget proposals. I have fulfilled ministry is giving you back and we proud about getting so far with the service.
Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, who sectorally highlighted strides made in the 2022 fiscal year, said his administration intends to complete and inaugurate all ongoing projects in 2023, in addition to executing more people-oriented projects and programs across the state, and sought the support of the State Assembly and the citizenry in the quest to take the state to the next level.
We have done a lot of works in Borno State, but the most important thing that we need to do is how to sustain those good works that we did.
Speaker Borno State Assembly Abdul Karim Lan commended Governor Zulum for the all-inclusive budget, which he said will consolidate gains made in the 3.5 years, assuring speedy legislative action to enable government continue with the good work. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
To a bit on the power sector now, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission is engaging electricity customers and distribution companies on amicable resolution of complaints arising from service delivery and the need to improve power supply. Joshua Jito reports that the latest interface is with Abuja Electricity Development Distribution Company and its customers.
More than 1 million customers in need of electricity under the franchise of Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC. Yet, consumers say it's a scarce commodity. More worrisome to customers are inadequate meters, lack of investment in electricity networks like transformers, poles, among others, by the distribution companies.
Out of 24 hours a day, we only have electricity supply for 45 minutes. I raised this issue. They appeal to us that they will look into our plight.
They are here to find answers and solutions to challenges impeding quality electricity supply.
Who will take details of your complaints and address them? AEDC is committed, to utilizing the regulations that we have, improve our service delivery to you.
Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission is facilitating the conversation with a view to ensuring that customers get value for money.
It is not the responsibility of the consumers to buy transformer. It's not your responsibility as consumers to buy poles or any asset for the distribution company, because we have already provided for that cost in the tariff of the various utilities.
But there's also this very grave issue of energy theft. As much as we, obviously as the Commission, will continue to pound the pressure on Abuja to deliver service and recover the revenue, I think as consumers, we want you to also help us. If somebody is bypassing and you're aware, I think the minimum you can do is to try to stop the person from bypassing.
Beyond the complaints are rights and obligations of customers, which both parties are expected to adhere strictly for improved power supply. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Let's head to Asaba now. It is a promise made, promise kept in Warri Delta State, as Globalcom Limited presents various prizes, including an ultimate prize of a brand new car to have 42 Deltan customers as rewards for their loyalty. Rosemary Omani reports that the prize presentation is courtesy of the ongoing nationwide Glow Festival of Joy program.
This is the brand new car won by this lucky customer, Ubu Anthony. He says dialing *611 hash and frequent recharges made it possible.
It is real. This is not just, it's not one kind of gimmicks. By the special grace of God, as I'll be living here, I'm going home with a brand new car.
This subscriber's joy as well knows no bounds, as they anxiously and enthusiastically expect to be rewarded with other prizes on ground, comprising 3 generators, 5 sewing machines, and 33 rechargeable fans, making a total of 42 prizes by their favorite telecommunication company. The Warri Regional Manager, Julius Arebu, while appreciating the customers, encourages them to keep recharging and keep winning.
You're expected to do a minimum 20,000 naira for a house. For the car, you're expected to do a minimum of 10,000 naira, and for the generator, a minimum of 5,000 naira. For the sewing machine, you're expected to do 2,500, and for the rechargeable fan, 500 naira.
In line with her program, Glow Festival of Joy, Glow officially presents the prizes to the winners.
It's not okay, I'm blast. In short, I don't go expect this kind of thing. Because I come get call, that was on Monday now. Say I'm win farm.
At the end of the promo, 20 houses, 24 cars, 200 rechargeable fans, and hundreds of home appliances must have been won. From Warri, I am Rosemary Omani, NTA News.
And as a step up towards implementation of the Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework project, which seeks to fill the existing skills gap in the Nigerian educational system, a sensitization workshop has been organized in Kano for mastercraft persons in the Northwest Zone. Aminu Umar reports that the multi-million-dollar World Bank-supported project aims at providing opportunity for skills training, assessment and certification to youths in formal and informal sector of the economy.
Statistics have shown that informal sector in Nigeria accounts for about 57.7% of the economy. However, poor exploration and exploitation skills have hindered the country from harnessing the vast potentials abound in that direction. The Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework is an instrument posited to change the narrative through the development, classification, and recognition of skills, knowledge, and competencies that will be acquired through a variety of ways by Nigerian citizens. Addressing dozens of mastercraft persons at the workshop, Executive Director NBTE, Professor Idris Muhammad Bugaji says the sensitization seeks to improve the apprenticeship system to pave the way for the establishment of various training centers in the country.
We have already done handshakes with similar frameworks across the globe, so it will be recognized globally, so that young Nigerians can move out and get good jobs, bring back foreign exchange. That's the way to help the economy. At the moment, we are importing skilled labor. Go to the oil and gas industries. Go to Warri and Port Harcourt. Most of the welders are from Philippines and Indonesia. So we need to sit up and readdress this issue of skills.
To this end, a 6th-level Nigerian skills qualification has been developed and approved, while some operational staff have been trained abroad to pioneer the institutionalization.
We have put this across, to the Ministry of Education, that for every graduate of Nigerian University or Polytechnic, he must also have one certified skill, either a welder, a plumber, POP, choose any skill, auto mechanic, rewire, panel beating, choose a skill. That's the way to go.
A similar exercise is expected to hold in all 6 geopolitical zones in the country. In Kano, Aminu Umar, NTA News.
The federal government has charged the Federal Road Safety Corps to ensure seamless traffic and movement for commuters across the country before, during and after the Yuletide. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, represented by the Permanent Secretary General Services Office, Maurice Mberi, gave this call at the 4th quarter 2022 strategic session for commanding officers held at the FRSC headquarters in Abuja. Oyemi Ajayi has that.
The road is the theater of operation. The mandate is to maintain safety and sanity on the highways. To achieve this, strategic planning has been the bedrock.
Pay close attention to traffic control.
This is the first strategic session for the year 2022, coinciding with the fast approaching Christmas. Hence, preparations for the Yuletide sits on the front burner. With the code name Operation Zero Tolerance, the acting Corps Marshal rules out the major focus during the special patrol to include addressing critical risk factors and sanctioning of critical offenders.
Seeing that we are in the last lap of the Ember months and at the eve of Operation Zero Special Patrol Operations, commanding officers must ensure mass deployment of personnel on all traffic-prone areas and critical corridors so as to guarantee the monitoring public ease of movement on all roads.
To the government, protection of critical road infrastructure remains paramount, so the Corps must ensure reduction of crashes during the season.
To achieve this, you must clearly set your targets and engage all other stakeholders to deliver on these mandates.
Commanding officers are, however, charged to ensure maximum utilization of both human and material resources in the general operations to ensure a crash-free celebration. Oyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
From Abuja, we head to Lagos, where we hear that the closure of Eko Bridge has taken its toll on Lagos residents, as the bridge provides access to chain of markets, while it also serves as major link between the mainland and the island axis of the city. Ruth Ario Samuel, who monitored repair work on the bridge, reports that the appeal is being made for speedy rehabilitation to safeguard business concerns.
This is not the best of time for motorists and commuters plying the Akpongbon Bridge, particularly this Christmas period, as the bridge will not be open for traffic. Traders and residents lament the closure has left them trekking long distances with an increase in transport fare. Some commuters and commercial bus drivers express sadness that they spend several hours navigating the road while awaiting repairs. They argued that despite the alternative roads provided by the state government, there is no relief in sight.
It's already blocked. Or this place, there's nowhere to go. Before, we are going, when you're going down under the bridge, there's from where you will come back to locate this place. But now, the place already, tailor don't spoil everything.
They are coming in from Ifimotatia. You know, they are coming in. So this is the only place, and this is the next place they are passed.
A visit to Akpongbon Bridge shows that the emergency repair work is ongoing, with engineers working round the clock to meet the deadline of May 2023.
We will not even be up to that, but let's just put it, because we are working day and night. Work progress is very fast. As you can see now, we are almost 65% done with the work, and the remaining 35% in less than some weeks will be completed.
Meanwhile, the Lagos state government has assured residents of adequate traffic personnel on the alternative roads to control traffic while waiting for the completion of the bridge. In Lagos, Ruth Ario Samuel, NTA News.
Let's now take you to Kebbi State, where attention of all the political classes is now shifted to the 100 kilometers Koko Mahuta Dabai Road, which is quite strategic but in a deplorable condition. Ibrahim Dang Hamidu reports that concerns are on how the road could be repaired.
The 247-kilometer Koko, Mahuta, Dabe and Malando Road is the major entry linking the Kebbi State capital with about 5 local government areas in Zulu Emirate. The road contract was said to have been awarded by Senator Muhammadu Adamu Aliru's administration around 2006 and was completed by Usman Nasamu Dakingari administration in 2011. However, few years after its inauguration, apparently owing to some obvious factors, it began to rapidly deteriorate, hindering smooth movement, especially of farm produce, by the heavily agrarian communities it hosts.
Honestly, when the road contract was executed then, God knows there was sentiment. That is why the road was not qualitative. That is why people suffered on this road, especially during the rainy season. The time that road was constructed, if it was a good job, it wouldn't have been like this now.
The current administration of Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu requested the refund of the expended money by the previous administrations from the federal government, resulting to a controversy at the Senate chamber when 2 senators from the state alleged to have opposed the request, tasking the state to provide proof for the execution of the contract. In view of that, the Kebbi State House of Assembly Deputy Speaker and member representing Zuru constituency, Usman Mohammed Zuru, moved a motion of public urgent importance on the floor of Kebbi State House of Assembly, where he cleared the air on the issue of request for the refund by the state government.
The issue of refund has nothing to do with the present unfinished contract of Dabai Mahuta Okoro. It is therefore unclear to impute such a wrong allegation on the governor and the senator.
Similarly, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, during the presentation of the 2023 budget, also cleared air on the lingering issue.
I've seen commentaries that the state of the road is now bad, and it's true. But they were constructed then, and it was the fund when they were constructed that was being pursued by the state.
The federal government has since awarded another contract for the construction of the road, and work is in progress. Ibrahim Mohammed Ahamidu, NTA News.
Away from that now, civilian security of the Federal Capital Territory FCT Police Command has commenced investigations into the reported case of security breach occasioned by armed robbery, shooting and abduction of some persons in the Kubwa location estate off Arab Road area of the FCT on Tuesday, December 6, 2022. The Commissioner of Police, CP Babaji Sunday, knows that the swift response of the command in an aggressive manhunt on the perpetrators resulted in the rescue of 3 victims and the recovery of firearms and ammunition. Meanwhile, the CP calls for calm, noting that the command has since deployed intelligence and other operational assets possible to fortify security in the entire Kubwa area and its environs. He assures that investigations have since commenced to identify the suspects and bring them to book while ascertaining their mission and motives. Let's take another breather, because in a moment we will be talking politics, and the political gladiators are out in full force.
I'm about to serve better breakfast.
If you're in Lagos, you need to see this.
I'm not just streaming content, I'm just escaping traffic.
Get more data to enjoy exclusive content. Dial *141# now. Airtel, the smartphone network.
My people, my name is Emeka. Meku scammers. Let me get all this people. I don't learn my lesson. Somebody come buy motor for my hand, carry big money, come give me. Now when we get bust, then my eye open. I don't know that 419 be. Now when EFCC bam, they come bab me too. Now he make me they warn you. All of them when they do business like me. where they carry big money. When I go, sometimes I go carry transfer, carry bring back. Make una shine on my eye because the special control unit against money laundering, when they call SCUMO, they don't want say if the money pass 5 million naira for individual, no collect them. If it pass 10 million naira for company, no collect them. Carry go where? Bank. If you no do them like that, 250,000 naira for every day where this offense happen, or they go suspend your license, or they go shut them down. Pata for your hand. No talk say I know 1 year.
This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Never again should this happen. We have passed through this path before, and it was not good for us. I remember the horror, the crying, the blood, dead bodies everywhere. I almost lost my mind. I could not sleep. I remember the cry of innocent children. Many lives were changed forever. We shall never go through that path. Oh, we must stand in truth, in honesty, to build a vibrant nation. A nation that you and I can be proud of.
If you want to become something, become a child again. Why be a patient? If you must worry, don't worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Looking fresh for your date? Get even fresher with Close Up. New Close Up Triple Fresh formula. It cleans deeply, fights 99% of bacteria, and cools intensely, keeping you protected and fresh.
Let's take a picture.
Still fresh, still protected.
Feeling cool and protected.
All day confidence to get close. New Close Up Triple Fresh formula.
My son Aiden wants to be a great actor like you.
How did I do? You did great.
A couple of years ago is when his acting began.
Think you can play?
Yes.
Catch.
I take him to auditions and give him Twisco, our family favorite. With the right support, my boy is going to be a great actor.
You got the role.
Give your kids Twisco to support their big dream. Twisco, power your dream.
Thanks for staying. Political parties and candidates are always the objects of criticism in the event of any undemocratic practice during the electoral process. But just wait a minute. There is this set of people we hardly consider if elections must be credible. I mean the INEC staff. Neo Gidi was at INEC headquarters Abuja for the swearing-in of the Secretary to the Commission, Rose Anthony, and the issue of staff neutrality and credible elections dominated discussions.
Being in charge of the Secretariat of INEC is not a bed of roses, but Rose managed the engine room well for 4 years, with INEC staff strength of more than 16,000. So another term of 4 years given. No election anxiety here, but smiles, pleasantries, some even tempted doing it the traditional way. Yes, a brief ceremony and the oath taking done. Time for self-examination.
In this run-up to the next general election, there's a lot of work to do, and our office is like the heartbeat, the engine room of the commission.
From the conference room, taking a second walk to our office for the second time, seated, work already started. But I asked, 23 staff already facing trial for misconduct during the PVC registration. What is your agenda to end such going forward?
every staff of the commission understands the vision of the commission as far as 2023 general election is concerned. Yes, we all know that it's no longer business as usual, and that the staff must understand that there is a new commission. It's a new commission, and this commission is one that has zero tolerance for infraction. This election, the commission is not going back on the deployment of technology. Because it's in the law. We are guided by the provisions of the law. And
University of Westminster, London, UK trained mass communication expert Rose Arare Anthony is the first to be reappointed as secretary to the commission. She told me on a lighter note, I have made the female folk proud and I will not box below my weight. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Interesting. We wish her all the best. Now, as more groups continue to unite under the Tinubu-Shettima's joint presidential ticket for February 25th, 2023 presidential election, 2 more strategic committees have been inaugurated to steer different roles at the grassroots in the ongoing nationwide campaign. Abubakar Akwanga reports that the Tinubu-Shettima Grassroots Independent Campaign Council is spearheading the initiative ahead of victory come 2023.
Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Raji Fashola SAN, represented by his Vice Chairman and Minister of Environment Mohammed Hassan Abdullahi and Senator Folashade Grace Bent, are now to steer the ships of the contacts and mobilization and that of operation and organizing committees. Less talks and more actions. These are what should be seen prominent on the political landscape in the coming days. The leadership of the committees assured.
We have to evolve strategies to look at people and organizations that can add value to the success of the Asiwaju Shettima team.
These are the candidates that Nigerians must, as a matter of conscious deliberation, use their PVC to vote for.
That shows the commitment and that shows the love we all have for our party, and to ensure that we support our presidential candidate come February 2023.
The composition of the committees are top politicians who believe that effective synergy will simplify the job of APC retaining power beyond 2023. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Still on political news, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar says the victory of the PDP in Osun State's last governorship election is an indication that Nigerians are prepared to back the party. Atiku was speaking at a rally held at the Nelson Mandela Freedom Park, Osogbo, Osun State. Onoto Yakubu reports.
The PDP faithful said they saw the campaign rally as a homecoming for the PDP presidential candidate, his wife, Titi Atiku Abubakar, and a celebration of Governor Ademola Adeleke's victory in the governorship election. Governor Adeleke expressed gratitude to the people and promised quality leadership. He charged Osun indigents to give the PDP presidential candidate the same backing in February 2023.
You vote for our president, Atiku Abubakar. Let me tell you what is going to happen. Nigeria will survive. Nigeria will keep going from sign to faith.
Other national and state party stalwarts lent their voices to the call for the people of Osun to further consolidate on the foundation they have laid.
Atiku Abubakar and Governor Adeleke will work in uniform and in synergy for the continued development of Osun State.
That's what unity can do. You are united, and as a united people, you make it possible for the PDP to win the strategic seat of Osun State. The experience that Atiku Abubakar has acquired as Vice President of Nigeria for 8 years is an experience that none of them can match. And Nigeria today needs that experience.
For the candidate, Atiku Abubakar, education, security, unity of the people, and economic emancipation are prerequisites to the long yearn for development.
Vote PDP in the next general election. That is the only way you can secure your future and the future of your children. We promise you, we will not fail you.
Atiku Abubakar and his team had earlier held an interactive session with interfaith and youth groups in Osun State, where he pledged to help resolve the challenge of ethno-religious crisis that have threatened the nation's peace. From Osogbo, Osun State, Onoto Yakubu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has promised improved security and citizen-centered governance if elected president come 2023. The presidential candidate was speaking in Jalingo during his presidential campaign visit to Taraba State. Eunice Yutsa reports.
The campaign train of the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, was in Jalingo, Taraba State, in continuation of campaigns for the 2023 presidential elections. The presidential candidate and his team were received at the Dambaba Sunte Airport, Jalingo, from where he moved to address party supporters at the Jolingami Stadium. Speaking on the rich potentials of Taraba State, the presidential hopeful says his presidency will explore the potentials in fullest for the transformation of the country. He particularly emphasized his attraction to the plains of Mambila Plateau, which he says he will transform to a global tourist destination. While commending the rich profile of the presidential candidate, leaders of the party called on the people of Taraba State to key into the vision of the presidential candidate. Mr. Peter Obi was also at the palace of the Emir of Muri, Abbas Njida Tafida, to seek his royal blessings. The Emir, while receiving the presidential candidate, sued for national unity and called on politicians to avoid overheating the system. The presidential candidate was also in Wukari, where he paid homage to the Akuka of Wukari. In Jalingo, Eunice Newta, NTA News.
From political news, let's head to business, where Musa Abakar is standing by with business news. Musa, take it away.
Thank you, Fatima. The federal government says it's committed to bringing back dominant tanneries and luring more capital into the nation's tannery industry. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Mariam Katagum, said this at a meeting with National Steering Committee on the implementation of National Leather Products Policy, led by its chairman, Professor Muhammad Kabir Yakubu. Katagum said that the ministry had decided, in accordance with its mandate, to start the machinery needed to revive the sector. She said the ministry will use its agencies to ensure viability of the sector. Currently, just 18 out of 40 tanneries are operational, with a total in-store capacity for processing 250,000 skein per day up to wet blue level. Now to energy, oil edged to its lowest since the start of the year in volatile trading after U.S. government data showed an unexpected large build in fuel stocks, feeding fears about demand in a market already spooked by an uncertain economy. Brent futures for February delivery fell $1.62 to $77.73 a barrel, a 2% loss earlier. U.S. crude fell 24% to $72.45 per barrel during the session. Brent hits its lowest since January 3rd. It's another day of gain for investors in the equities market. The all-share index advanced by 0.12% at 48,426.49 basis point. A total turnover of 146.2 million securities valued at 3.3 billion naira were traded in 2,810 deals. Equity capitalization increased to 26.3 trillion naira. FBN Holdings, Geregu Power PLC and Zenith Bank were the most traded stocks in terms of volume. And that's a quick look at business news. Fatima, it's over to you now.
Well, thank you so much, Rosa, for the business package. Now let's talk about a lady that gave her best and never relented in pursuing a crown from the Nigerian Media Merit Awards. And this edition, she was crowned the Queen of Newscasters in Nigeria. Who is this NTA jewel? Abdullahi Mohammed unveils her.
They call it. So 20,000 times 7 is what these women are going to get today.
On the field, an Amazon. Back in the studios, a queen of queens on the throne of NTA's weekly news magazine, The News Extra. Here she exudes flamboyant style in serving the scoops of stories in 4 worlds of homes across the world.
Let's head to Lagos, where performing artists have stepped out in their numbers.
These did not earn her the Queen's crown, but the Queen's English, which echoes her name within the 4 corners of the prestigious Eco Hotel and Suites in Lagos. It was the Nigeria Media Merit Awards, which she relentlessly slots in, making the list of those called the previous edition, but not mentioned in the list of the few chosen. This edition, however, she came tops the hierarchy of newscasters across the country.
And the winner is Fatima Umar Buba, NTA.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
As a television newscaster, winning this award, it's like the peak of everything. And you see the caliber of people winning, you know that, yes, this is meritorious. So I'm very, very happy. I'm very excited. I don't know what to say. I'll just have to say thank you so much, NTA family.
Fatima Umar Buba has brought the crown home, making NTA proud.
It's heartwarming that NTA finally is getting back to reckoning. We need more of these kinds of outings.
She has since put the award where it belongs and back on her throne, serving the Queen's English once again. Who knows whether the red carpet will roll out for her in places we never thought. Congrats, Fatima.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, NTA family, and everyone out there watching. I thank you. Another commercial break beckons. In the next segment, health correspondents will focus on some unhealthy practices. There are also some tips on coping with Harmattan.
He falls sick so frequently and misses school often. I keep him away from junk food.
He also feeds me apple. She says an apple a day keeps.
If you want to keep germs away, then use Dettol soap. Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol sure.
In a third final in 20 years.
Briefly out of his words, Yakata. Now you can get a GoTV decoder, GoChannel, and 1 month of GoTV Jolly for only 4,900 naira, and enjoy all the show-stopping games live from Qatar on GoTV.
ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
This is the moment.
We've been waiting. It's time to rise up, do it again. Africa, do your dance now. God, do your winning dance now. So we never lose it again. Africa rise up, yes we gon' rise up. Africa rise up, Africa rise up, yes we gon' rise up. Africa rise up.
Good to have you back on News Extra. Let me ask you, do you remember that popular hit of Fela? Different fever, naim day, malaria fever, ide, yellow fever, unko, ide. That resonates as we shine the spotlight on bleaching in this next report. The quest for beauty and beautiful skin knows no boundaries and extends across race, sex, and all age groups. Ironically, the desire for fair or light skin has become a global phenomenon, especially among the dark-skinned populations. In this report, Haman Jabani takes a look at the dark side of skin lightening, now negatively impacting human health.
Increase in the desire by dark-skinned people to acquire a lighter skin across the globe. This has given rise to different skin care and cosmetology merchants across the globe. This mixture cosmetics are usually applied to the human body or any specific part in the name of cleansing and beautification, mostly to promote attractiveness, bleaching, or skin lightening cosmetics like scrubs, pills, soaps, injections, chemicals, and even laser therapy are some of such to remove dark areas from the body without putting into consideration the possible side effects.
Naturally, I use natural products. There are times I go to the market, I use black soap, buy some of the ingredients and I mix them myself. But today I get to realize that you have to be very, very mindful of the chemical components.
The situation, the bleaching cream people are using today, I can use the word irritating.
This situation regrettably has far-reaching diverse effects on health and individual finances, and this in return has enriched unscrupulous stakeholders in the value chain.
One of the dangers of this skin bleaching and the rest of that is that if you remove the melanin, because if anything happened, the skin needed to be stitched, maybe there's surgery, they needed to stitch that very particular person, it would be nearly an impossibility.
So for each cosmetics like soap, they will tell you how to use it. So it's always indicated on the label, the direction for use. So stick to that direction for use and you shouldn't have any problem with any cosmetic product.
In the sub-Saharan Africa, skin lightening, observers say, have been prominent for about 5 decades, with a prevalence of 40 to 70% among the population across gender.
You should ensure that products that you are using have been reviewed and approved and registered by NAFDAC, and to make sure that you source your products from legitimate and credible sources, and that you do not use products for which you do not know what they contain.
In February 2021, Nigerian Senate, during one of its plenary, resolved to ensure regulation that will control the formulation and distribution of cosmetics, especially bleaching creams, and directed NAFDAC to regulate the production and sales of such creams in Nigeria, as well as maintain product database, and to also sensitize and create more awareness on the ills of harmful substance.
Equip the people with the right information and try to wipe off what we call public ignorance, because there's pervasive ignorance around this issue and everybody is involved, because all of us use cosmetics and there are outright people go outrightly going there to harm themselves They know outrightly. In fact, they go out looking for the bleaching creams. But there are people who are very innocent. They do not know.
Medical experts are of the view that the obsession for fair skin needs to be dealt with while creating a society where dark-skinned men and women are respected in all ramifications. Hamman Germany, NTA News.
It's surprising we all know that black is beauty. So I don't know why people do bleach. Well, have you noticed the change in the weather? Hot or sunny during the day, but hazy and windy in the morning and night in some parts of the country, especially the northern axis. In this climate, it is called Harmattan, an off-season for most people with pre-existing health conditions. However, worry not, because Salwa Khalil Ibrahim in this next report is standing by to take us through what we need to do to overcome the health challenges associated with the season.
This is a typical weekly thrift market in Abuja. One of the most sought for items during this period are jackets and other kinds of heavy clothing to keep the body warm.
We are going to Roger HR country. This will hold you for summer, for winter, for anything, for snow.
This is when sickle cell and asthmatic patients will have to take extra shield.
Allergic to cold. So that sometimes affects me health-wise. So one of the things I do during this period is that I make sure I'm always with my sweater, I'm always with my cardigan. And another thing is that my lips get broken during the Harmattan season.
Like body pains, when you want to wake up in the morning, you find it difficult to stand up. And moreover, some are having running nose, maybe because of the dust. And that's why I'm having my nose mask.
No thanks to global warming, extreme weather conditions, a moment that tells a lot on human health.
The weather is cold, it's windy, and the wind carries a lot of dust, both big and small, from the Sahara Desert. So you tend to have different organs that are affected. For instance, the skin. The skin tends to be dry. You tend to have cracked lips, cracked feet, cracked hands, and sometimes we have even nosebleeds. Okay, in terms of other health effects, could be in terms of the frequency of respiratory tract infection, like you have the upper respiratory tract, like catarrh. People tend to cough more, they sneeze more.
To remain fit, there are the challenges posed by the season. Here are some health tips.
If you're allergic or asthmatic, you probably want to, it would be good for you to wear a mask to prevent the dust particles from getting into your nose. If you are prone to respiratory tract infection, you probably want to wear masks around. You want to stay indoors as much as possible. For dry skins and people with what we call allergies or sensitive skin or atopic eczema, you would want to moisturize your skin all the time. You want to use emollient moisturizers frequently, maybe 2 or 3 times a day, to keep your skin moist, to prevent them from cracking. And if you suffer nosebleeds, you'd probably want to moisturize your nose with emollient and to keep the epithelium lining of the nose covered.
Drinking lots of water to stay hydrated. Warm clothing is essential, but if you can't afford one, it is not too late to go to the open store or what money referred to as bend down select. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
Thank you, Sawa, for the tips. Following the arrest of popular singer Oladipo Oyebanji, popularly known as the Banj, by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission over alleged diversion of NPAR funds, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has responded to the matter. Ruth Aguele reports.
When I first heard that the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has arrested the popular singer The Banched over alleged diversion of funds meant for NPAR beneficiaries, a lot of questions readily come to mind. What is the correlation between The Banched, a singer, and the NPAR program? If we recall, the NPAR program was created by the federal government in 2015 to address the issue of unemployment and empowerment for youth. And over time, there has been consistent of complaints of non-receipt of monthly funds by some beneficiaries. So a lot of questions begging for answers, which we're about to clarify now.
When it came to our notice that there may have been sharp practices by some personnel of the payment service provider involved in the payment processes of the beneficiaries, the matter was immediately referred to ICPC. To this end, we are in close collaboration with the ICPC to support the successful determination of the investigation. In the meantime, we have carried out thorough reinforcement of our systems to eliminate all anomalies and prevent similar occurrences in the future.
In its bid to ensure transparency and accountability of the N-Power program and other social investment programs, the ministry assures that it will continue to involve other MDAs and security agencies to ensure compliance with the various social investment programs. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
Sports update is next with Chukwunoso Mwabweze.
The stage is set for the first two quarter-final matches scheduled for Friday at the ongoing 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. 2018 finalists Croatia faced five-time world champions Brazil at the Education City Stadium. The Netherlands played Lionel Messi-inspired Argentine side for a place in the last four of the tournament. Meanwhile, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has referred to the 2022 World Cup group stage matches as the best in the history of the tournament, with an average of 51,000 fans at the stadiums to watch the matches and the record-breaking 2 billion viewers on television across the globe. The FIFA boss expects the concluding part of the Mundial to be more entertaining. Katsina State female volleyball team are through to the semi-final of the 21st National Sports Festival in Asaba Delta State after beating their counterparts from Adamawa by 3-0, 25-21, 26-24, 25-17. In the men's event, Borno State also scaled through to the last four after 3-0, 25-23, 25-22, 27-25 win over their Plateau State counterparts. In basketball, Lagos State beat host Delta by 73 to 68 points to cruise to the final, where they will take on River State, who got the better of Gombe State 72 to 55 points. And in handball women's third place match, Plateau State defeated Imo State 30 to 22 goals to clinch the bronze medal.
The younger ones or the local ones who are coming up, it's an avenue for them to be able to challenge those who are already at the top.
Meanwhile, Minister of Youth and Sports Development Sunday Dare has charged commissioners for sports as well as directors and managers of sports across the federation to take sports as business. The minister gave the charge during an interactive section with sports stakeholders on the Nigeria sports industry policy in Asaba.
You must fetch and attract some of your funding from sponsors and the private sector. That's what's done everywhere in the world.
That's sports update. I am Chukwunoso Mwabweze, NTA News.
And with that, we wrap up News Extra for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I am Fatima Umar. Please stay safe.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.
It is no news that the aviation industry is the fastest mode of transportation. A lot of people would also say it's the safest. I am, really inquisitive to find out what this is all about, because I'm sure that to achieve that speed and safety, there are loads of technicalities involved. And in this my inquisitive nature, I welcome you to a lovely time on Executive Discuss, which is always coming to you on the network service of the NTA. My name is Ololade Adenijatele. On this week's episode of the program, I am in the home of a man who has done so much in the aviation industry. He is a man who has held one of the most sensitive parastatals in the aviation sector in this country, Nigeria. He is a pilot and, I think I can say he has seen all there is to be seen in terms of aviation. And I'm right here in his house today because he has graciously allowed us to come in here. Hello, Captain.
Morning, evening. How are you, madam?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Very well.
Good to see you after such a long time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice to hear.
Thank you. On this week's episode of Executive Discuss, my guest is a pilot. He is a man who, I will say, loves aviation. At one time, he was the managing director of the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA. And yes, he made his mark there. Today, he is the